Yo, what's going on out there in the land of YouTube? How is everybody tonight? What is going on out there? Happy Monday, everybody. How is everybody doing today? What is going on, Mike, Mr. Hans, Pig Punisher? What's going on, my friends? Conk, how are you today, my friend? Nice to see you. What is going on? Reprehensible Reptile, what is going on? How is everybody doing today? Good to see everybody. So listen, welcome to the channel, Delete Laws. My name is ChilleDeCastro. I'm a constitutional law scholar. And what I have done over the past couple years is driven across the country and back twice. And every city, state, county, district, borough, wherever I stopped, there was corruption that I found everywhere. So now you're on my live stream. So if you would do me the biggest favor ever and hit the like button, just take your finger real quick and hit the like button. It's a thumbs up button. It's right down there. Just take your finger and hit the like button. Hit the like button. And then do me a favor, type in the comment section OTVO, which stands for Overturn Terry versus Ohio. That's what it stands for. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Did I see Special Ed Andrew in the chat? What's going on, Special Ed Andrew? Sean, what is going on? Walter, Troy, how is everybody? P-Rex, what's going on? Sean, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Good to see everybody. Mike, it's so good to see, man, great room full of people. Has everybody pushed OTVO and put that in the comment section? If you would, please do that for me. And now I want to show you guys something. Now, this may not be a large check, but let me just show it to you. This is a check right here for $153. Do you see that check right there? And that's from the San Bernardino. See the top of it? It says, on behalf of the San Bernardino court. And that's to Jose DeCastro. This is where my office was in Santa Monica when I was working with Jeff Lloyd. And they sent me a check for $153. That's what they sent me this month. So let me show you why they sent me that money. Couple of things. Number one, Floyd Wallace is out of jail. I bailed him out this afternoon. Didn't have time to do a live and crowdfund it. I put $400 up. I just bailed him out because he was in jail in Texarkana, Arkansas. So what do you guys want to see? You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at that one first. Let's take a look at Floyd's first, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to talk about this check right here. And I'm going to show you guys the case. Do you guys want to see the case? I'll show you the case. I mean, I can jump right into this. So we'll do Floyd Wallace next, but I want you guys to watch a couple of things real fast, just real quick. So I believe it was I'll tell you when it was from the date of the video. On this date, let me go to Chrome window here. Apple Valley stop right here. So this video was posted 4 months ago. So, approximately 4 months ago, 4 months ago. Chevy, what's up, Chevy? Michael Boyd is in the house. Devil Saint. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry you feel that way, Devil. Might want to talk to your leader about what's called a judgment against her. Might want to check that out because that's the reason why I'm willing to let the Massachusetts case go, because I got a judgment against your idol and I'm going to follow through on it. So just a real quick one. I would just throw that out there real fast. So if you guys remember, my cousin died early in 2023. My cousin died. And so I had to go to Apple Valley for her funeral. And when I was in Apple Valley, I saw a dirty, stinking, rotten pig driving down the road, trying to hide and try to get people. I saw that dirty pig hiding, and I was like, you know what? I don't think so, piggy. I don't think so, bruh. I'm watching you, bro. I'm watching you. And so you guys see the video queued up here. What happened was that filthy pig pulled me over. Heather's here, everybody. Say hello to Heather Dollarhide. We're going to talk about her case as well. I'll send you a StreamYard link, Heather, if you want to come on and talk about what's going on over there. But good to see everybody. So several months ago, I was pulled over in Apple Valley. Here is the refund that I paid the ticket, and they got the money back because I beat the case. I beat the case. You see it right there? I beat the case. That's why they sent me my money back right there. So I'll show you a couple minutes of this video. Pull me over for no reason? You better know your place, copper. You better know your place. No, sir, that's Pennsylvania versus Mims, the 1977 holding. No.
You're using your vehicle. You're using your phone while driving a motor vehicle.
California Supreme Court has already stated that I can use. I can hold my. Don't put your hands on me, bro. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm just not some regular person. I'm in town for a funeral. So here's what you can do. You can get in your car and you can get the fuck out of here. Pack your.
Is your license, sir?
No, you can't see.
Why not?
Because you're out of order right now. Name and badge number.
Juan Zepeda.
Okay, so I'm gonna file a complaint against you.
Good.
And if you touch me, I'm gonna file a law. Now get back in your car. Head on out of here. Head on out of here. Take a hike.
You have your license?
I'm not giving you. This is an unlawful stop. This is an unlawful. You pulled me over because I looked at you. No. You didn't know if my phone was running or not. My phone's in my hand.
Exactly.
So I can hold my phone in my hand. How do you know I was recording you? So I was pointing. I had my phone pointing at you. So that mean I was recording? Right. And that's not a statute. Show it to me. I can't hold my phone in my hand. I just educated you. California Supreme Court said I can't hold my phone in my hand. Yes, I can actually. I won the case. That's why I'm holding the check in my hand right now. He was wrong. Now go back in your car, little dog. Go follow orders. Go on. Go on. They want today to be the last day. Is today the last day for both of us? Because I'm not going to accept an unlawful arrest. Just want you to know that. I know you're not. You're going to go back to your car like the little dog you are. Are you done? Get the out of here. You pulled me over for no reason. Get the out of my face.
Are you done, sir?
Go on, beta male. Go on. Here comes another pig coming in hot. Oh, man, another pig. Got his lights on. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. We got piggy number 2. Piggy number 2's coming in hot. There's a guy with 2 cameras here, man. You better hurry. You better hurry, piggy. There's a guy with 2 cameras here. He's got 2 cameras. Hurry. Come in hot. Come in hot. Get your gun out. Let's get hands on, boys. Is absolute. How you guys doing? Delete laws. Okay, so now let me pop in here real quick. So I had told that copper that the case had already been determined, that yes, I wasn't allowed to use my cellular phone as a way to talk on my phone when I'm driving. However, that it had already been established, the California State Supreme Court, in a case called People versus Spriggs. Actually, this was the appellate court, so I actually misspoke a little bit because I'm not trying to tell a lie. I just misspoke. It was the California appellate court, not the California Supreme Court. So sometimes I get cases messed up. That's why you write everything down and you file motions and briefs so that you can check your work after you do it. So the cop pulled me over right here, and let me jump through here a little bit. That's how I roll. So he gave me a ticket for CA 123-231123. That's what he gave me a ticket for. Just like that. Just let him know. So when I passed the cop, I showed him that I was filming him. Let him know I'm filming him. Just let him know I'm getting a good look at him there. Because he was hiding on the side of the road to get somebody, and I didn't want that to happen. That's how I roll. Just like that. Just let him know I'm watching him. Let him know he's being filmed. It doesn't matter if he's doing anything or not. You just want to let him know you're filming him. Oh. Right. I always let them know that I'm filming them. And so now right here, I actually go around a building because I see that this filthy pig is going to hide on the side of the road to get one of our fellow Americans, pull them over, and then begin the inquisition. Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Where have you been? What are you planning on doing today? Are you still married? Are you divorced? Do you have any children? What's your favorite color? Do you like cold cereal? It never stops. And so because of that, pigs to me are a public interest, and pigs for you are also a public interest. So I made it a point because, as you know, I have several phones. What I did is I followed this piggy to where he would be hiding. I went around the block, went behind a little fence in a park, and then I filmed him from behind the park. This made little piggy upset. He wanted to go to market. Does anybody know this little piggy went to market? This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. Does everybody know when you say this little piggy went to market, they're talking about they sent the pig to the market? I just learned that last year. Anyway, so I went around the corner to the public park right there, and I began to film this cop from a public parking lot, and I narrated what I was looking at. And I kept track of how long. So as soon as I pulled over and I stopped and I started to film him, I asked a question. Once he knows
how long it is, do you think, before he pulls out? Let's keep track of the time.
Timer in the upper right-hand corner right there. It was 30 seconds.
Goes just like
approximately 60 seconds before that cop drove off.
Like I said. Just like I said, he's driving away. He's driving away. He's driving away.
Unfortunately, that piggy wasn't done harassing me, and I've had to make a decision within my team. Do we sue this pig? Because if we sue him, because as you guys can see, he lost. He pulled me over, illegally detained me, and then gave me a frivolous ticket, which I then had to fight in court. I had to research. I had to get legal help. I had to use the team of people who I have assembled. If you're a paralegal or a legal aid professional and you want to join Team DLZ, send me an email through deletelaws@gmail.com, and I will voir dire your information and see if there's a spot for you on Team DLZ, because I'm constantly having people file motions in court all over the country, not motions. I'm constantly having people file different paperwork all over the country. Like, for example, demand for return of property, or Freedom of Information Act for your body cam footage, or there's a myriad of things that legal professionals can do to help people. And a lot of people contact me. If you contact me every day, if you don't have a video, I really can't do much to help you. All I can do is expose them. I don't have a bar card. The cases that I'm involved with, I do the lawsuits myself with my little team. So just remember that I'm limited to how much I can actually do for you. But this piggy here, I pulled over, I filmed him in 60 seconds exactly. He felt uncomfortable and he had to drive away.
He sat there for less than a minute, about 1 minute before he had to drive away. Oh, but Copper, I'm a member of the press.
So I put this in here.
Oh, but
I don't think anybody actually
Copper
understood what I was saying. So the way society works is it's built on a pyramid. And in that pyramid, the press is one of the 6 pillars of the pyramid to make a society. As you can see here, communities of concern, expertise practice on the collective bargaining.
Member of the press.
You see it right there? You can see it, but I put it in there highlighted so people couldn't really see it. But if you really take a look at it, what I'm emphasizing here is that press is one of the 6 pillars of any community.
I keep track of cops because you guys can't be trusted. You're the devils in the night. You're the demons in the day. You're the evil.
That's a better shot. You can see that your consumers are the base. And so what are we? We're number 6. We're the peasants. So in old society, it went peasants, merchants, writers and journalists, military, church, aristocrats, and those are your politicians. In today's society, it goes consumers, business, press, executive, judiciary, legislator. And you can see the top 3 of the pyramid over here on the right are the 3 branches of government. The 4th estate is supposed to be the press. You see where it's the 4th rung on the pyramid? It's called the 4th estate.
You're the fear. You're the death. So I ain't done filming you, Copper. I was just letting you know I was filming you, but the filming has not. So he went around. So that means he went that way. He's probably going to go down and take a left and then come down here again and take another left. So that means if I want to intercept him, I'm probably going to have to go right over this way because he's probably going to come up.
And just so you know,
I'm guessing he's probably going to come up right here.
My assessment is
He's probably
spot
going to
on.
come up right
Pops
here.
up exactly where I thought he would.
Either on this street here.
He
Is
did.
this street he's going to come up.
It's the next one.
Because
It's
what
the
do
little piggy.
I don't see any piggy coming up the street right there. So he passed this one most likely. And then we got a car here. Stops. Look for the piggy. This way. is what
exactly like I said. He went down and around and then took a left and came back up. So I caught him here at the intersection.
I say. I got him right there. Right there. Right there's a pig. Right there. Right there's a pig. Right there.
Okay, now people may be wondering, how come I can have my phone out? So I'm literally holding my phone up and filming him like this. In California, the law is you're not allowed to use your phone unless it's being used hands-free. I had already read the case law regarding this particular thing, which says it's the people. So I'm going to show you guys the People versus Spriggs real quick here. So this is how I got this check right here. This is the reason why they lost. They lost and they had to give me this because the People versus Spriggs right here. Let me open this big. So this says, while stopped at a heavy traffic stop, Stephen Spriggs pulled out his wireless phone to check on an application on a map. A California Highway Patrol spotted him holding his telephone and pulled him over and issued him a traffic citation for vehicle code section 23123. As you saw, I was charged with the same thing, which prohibits using a wireless telephone that is specifically designed and configured to allow hands-free listening and talking. However, when you go down, he contested the ticket at trial before a Fresno Superior Court traffic commissioner. Both Spriggs and the highway patrol officer who issued the citation testified that Spriggs was cited for looking at a map on his cellular phone while holding the telephone in his hand and driving. Found Spriggs guilty and ordered him to pay a $160 fine. But then he appealed the court. The appellate court division affirmed. We subsequently reviewed. On appeal, Spriggs asserts that no answer that he was not using his wireless phone within the means of the statute because the statute only applies if a driver is listening and talking on a wireless telephone that is not being used in hands-free mode. The people contend that the statute is much broader and applies to all uses of wireless phone unless the telephone is used in a hands-free manner. And then the appellate court agreed that he was in fact not using it in a manner that would be consistent with using it for a telephone use. And so the appellate court then overturned his conviction, and the People versus Spriggs, I already knew the case. I just didn't know it off the top of my head. Had I had the People versus Spriggs on the trifold, but that's a California state case, so it may not apply to your case, even though you could probably argue the fundamentals of the case in your case, whether that be in Pennsylvania, Florida, or wherever else. It depends on what the statute and how the statute reads. In this particular case, 23123 reads that you must be using the phone in a hands-free way for talking and conversing. I wasn't using the phone for talking and conversing. I was using the phone for filming, similar to how Mr. Spriggs was using the phone simply for his map system and not talking and conversing. So I'll show you just a couple more minutes of this, and then I'm going to jump into Floyd Wallace, who we just got out of jail literally 20 minutes ago. He just called me on the phone.
How that
So now I follow this little piggy.
doing here. Good. That's all I'm doing. Just got a beat on the pig.
So I follow the pig, and he's parked in the middle of the road in front of the school. And so when I see him in the middle of the road in front of the school, I drive right by him, and I already know the People versus Spriggs, so I film him. Now, when I do that, he doesn't know the People versus Spriggs because remember, you're talking about the lowest common denominator of a human being who has to take orders every day. This man takes orders every day. He's used to being told what to do. When I step on the scene of an audit, the first thing I remember is I'm in charge. These guys here, they're used to being told what to do. They show up at work at 8 a.m. or noon or 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. or 11 p.m., whatever time their shift is. And when they get there, they get a list of orders and they say, here's what you're going to do today. Here's your list of orders. So these guys are order followers. And remember that mentality. You signed up for a job. What job did you sign up for? You signed up for a job where you will be told what to do and you will follow orders. Think about that for a moment. Imagine I walked out my door right now and realized that no matter where I go, I need to follow orders. The biggest fear that cops have are other cops. I'm not kidding. Cops hate the job. Did you know that? I'm sorry. I hate to go on a little diatribe here, but let's take you down a journey of factual knowledge here. After I've read the Seabury Commission, the Wickersham Commission, the Knapp Commission, and the Mullen Commission, of course, I didn't read the entire Wickersham Commission, because reading the entire Wickersham Commission, which is available on my website, deletelaws.com, for free, one sliver of it, one segment of it, the Wickersham Commission would be like reading 9 Bibles. That's how, and the Wickersham Commission is about what? About police corruption involving alcohol. That police are the biggest alcohol swindlers in the United States of America. And this commission is going to be written 1929, 1930, 1931. The Wickersham Commission is going to come out, and it's going to lay out what scumbags these nasty pigs are. And people are like, why are you so mean to the pigs? Have you read the Wickersham Commission? Do you know what cops did to people as they were swindling alcohol? They arrested, murdered, raped, killed people. The biggest gang you've heard of is Lucky Luciano, or the biggest gang that you've heard of is Al Capone. Who's heard of Al Capone swindling alcohol, and then eventually the government gets him for tax evasion? Elliot Ness eventually charges him with tax evasion. He's an IRS cop, and that's how they get Al Capone, because the gang is so tight they can't get anybody to squeal on them because they'll kill you. Well, you've heard of Al Capone, but maybe what you haven't heard is that cops were the biggest alcohol dealers in America. It wasn't even close, because Al Capone worked for the cops. Lucky Luciano worked for the cops. The cops were the #1 swindlers of everybody. So this cop right here, as I pull over to talk to him, I know for a fact this guy's used to taking orders. What he does is he takes orders for a living. I couldn't imagine it, but that's what he does. And so what I do is I know when I step on the scene, I am the alpha male. And people can say whatever they want, but it's true. I don't take orders. I give them. There's a very big difference.
Real slow. Just let him know I got a bead on him. I'm just watching him right there. That's all I'm doing.
So now he's going to whip around and pull me over. Okay, now just right here, let me explain something to you guys. The reason why I'm so obtuse, and the reason why I'm so incensed when this pig pulls me over right here, and the reason why I lambaste these pigs, is because I believe they've pulled me over meritlessly. He's going to cite 23123, but before he cites the ordinance of which I'm being charged, I'm not going to budge. As soon as he tells me, here's the statute I'm going to charge you with, then I'm willing to give ID, because as you know, you only give identification if there's probable cause. If he's charging me with 23123 California Penal Code, then there is probable cause, whether I like it or not. So you have to give your identification when there's probable cause against you. If you ask the cop, what are you charging me with? And he says, California 23123. I look it up on my phone. It's a statute that says he's improperly charging me. And here's the check. Here's me winning. I won the case. But if he's charging me with a statute, I have to give him my ID. If I don't give him my ID, I can go to jail. So, but the reason why I'm so rude to this pig, the reason why I'm so abrasive, is because I believed initially, and he did pull me over meritlessly. However, when I know my rights are being violated, I become a searing hot prick. And so that's what you're going to see right here. You pulling me over for no reason? You better know your place, copper. You better know your place. No, sir, that's Pennsylvania versus Mims, the 1977 holding. No.
You're using your vehicle. You're using your phone while driving a motor vehicle.
California Supreme Court has already stated that I can use. I can hold my. Don't put your hands on me, bro. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I'm just not some regular person. I'm in town for a funeral. So here's what you can do. You can get in your car and you can get the fuck out of here. Pack your.
Is your license, sir?
No, you can't see.
Hold on.
Because you're out of order right now. Name and badge number.
Juan Zepeda.
Okay, so I'm going to file a complaint against you.
Good.
And if you touch me, I'm going to file a law. Now get back in your car. Head on out of here. Head on out of here. Take a hike. Unless you want today. No. You're violating my rights right now. I'm a constitutional law scholar. Look up my channel. It's called Delete Laws. You just violated my rights by pulling me over for doing what? What are you pulling me over for? What's the offense?
For having your phone in your hand.
California State Supreme Court has already issued that I can hold my phone in my hand.
And report me.
That's right. I can report you. That's right. You're a dumb. You don't know the laws. Get your captain out here.
I'll be out with one in front of Grandin Hills High School.
You ain't out with anybody, bro. You're in big trouble.
Okay.
I'm going to file a complaint first, and then second, I'll file a lawsuit against you. Now go back in your car, little dog. Go follow orders. Go on. Go on. They want today to be the last day? Is today the last day for both of us? Because I'm not going to accept an unlawful arrest.
Okay.
Just want you to know that. Okay. I know you're not. You're going to go back to your car like the little dog you are.
Are you done?
Get the out of here. You pulled me over for no reason. Get the out of my face.
Are you done, sir?
Go on, beta male. Go on.
Call 6. I'm code 4.
Code 4? Is this a code 4?
Yep.
You pulled someone over for no good reason? Do you know the California State Supreme Court statute on holding my phone in my hand when I drive? Do you know what it is? They said that if I can't hold my phone in my hand, then essentially it becomes a paperweight. Spriggs contends he did not violate the statute because he was not talking on the phone, and we agree. Did you know that? Did you know the California State Supreme Court holdings? You want to see it? You want to see it? Are you afraid?
No,
Are you
I'm
scared?
not afraid.
Are you sure you're not scared?
You can educate me. Go ahead.
Sure. I got to reach in here now. You're not gonna be scared, are you? You sure you're not scared?
I'm not scared.
Okay. So this right here, you don't have a right to pull me over. Well, wait, what? No, you don't. No, you don't. Number one, I can stop anywhere I want, any street I want. I can go anywhere I want. Like, you don't have a right to pull me over for no reason. See, now he didn't have California 23123. He was charging me with using a phone. He didn't understand the law. So he's ignorant. He's wrong. Right this moment, I can sue Juan Zepeda. That's his name. Cop Juan Zepeda. I don't call them officer, corporal, or lieutenant. I could sue him right this moment. The problem with suing him is it will only be a declaratory judgment. A declaratory judgment is where they reprimand the official and the police department that's arrested me, that's charged me because I wasn't arrested, but I don't receive any restitution. So in other words, I'll put myself and my team out and we'll sue this guy. And obviously we will win because I got the check because I won the case. But the only thing it does is puts a black mark on Juan Zepeda's jacket on his personnel file. And to be honest, even though I don't like cops, Juan Zepeda kept his cool in the face of adversity. And so he didn't grab me, didn't try to go hands on with me, because if he had grabbed me, I'm not going to fight a cop, but I don't want to be arrested for no reason either. And that's what I mean when I say resist. I don't mean fight police. I mean, you don't have to just willingly agree to put your hands behind your back and go to the dungeon. So I have to make a decision in my heart whether I want to spend the time and the energy to sue Juan Zepeda and the Apple Valley Police Department, or if I just want to take the win and keep on going, because there's other people I want to sue right now. That there's one guy I want to sue right now, and I haven't been able to sue him because I've been so busy. So let's watch a little bit more of this, and then I'm going to get into Floyd Wallace's case that we just bailed him out of jail. Reason.
It's going to be on a T-stop in front of the school.
A T-stop?
Yeah.
What's that? Should I run live here real quick? Is that what I should do? Should I run live real fast just to make sure you're not going to be a tyrant? Okay. I'm going to pause this real quick. I'm going to run live just so this jackboot thug tyrant pulled me over for no good reason. That's true. Am I being detained or am I free to go?
I pulled you over. You're detained right now.
Oh, under which ordinance or statute am I being detained under? What's
Under the vehicle code.
What's your single articulable fact that I've committed a crime? What is it?
Under the vehicle code, sir.
What's the vehicle code? It's 23123. He doesn't know it off the top of his head because he doesn't know the law. He knows he charged me for holding my phone, but he doesn't understand the nuance or the spirit of the law. Hold my phone in my hand? I just educated you. California Supreme Court says I can't hold my phone in my hand.
And record me now. Yeah.
Yes, I can, Juan. I hope you're seeing this, Juan Zepeda at Apple Valley Police Department. You cannot pull people over unless they're using their phone to talk. Oh, really?
They can.
Oh, really? Let's see. Pull it up. Pull up the statute.
I don't have the statute with you right now.
Well, then let's see it. You pulled me over for no reason.
You can look it up in your car.
I can't look it up right now. I got to film you, bro. You're the most dangerous pig on earth. You're the most dangerous thing on earth, bro. You think you're a good person?
I think so. You
signed up to a Death Star. You drag people off to a dungeon. If you could right now, would you drag me off to a dungeon?
Why would I do that, sir?
Because you're a pig, bro. Because you signed up to hurt people. You pulled me over for no good reason. You're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. Most of all, bro, if you violate my rights, I will sue the shit out of you, dude.
You have your license?
I'm not giving you shit. This is an unlawful stop. So before I'm going to give him my identification, I need to hear the statute or ordinance that he's charging me with violating.
You do not give ID without probable cause. That includes in Nevada, which is a stop and ID state, for the police to stop you and request that you identify yourself, not give your identification, but simply identify yourself, which is going to be Hibble versus 6th District Court, Nevada. It says that if they have reasonable articulable suspicion and a singular articulable fact that a crime has been committed and you are the suspect of that crime, you have to say how you identify yourself. So I would say I identify as good citizen, or you can call me delete laws. But I don't have to give them my identification unless probable cause has been established. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because I'm going to show you when he says to me, here's my probable cause, here's the statute I'm charging you with. At that point, I have to drop my guns and I have to give him my identification. That's the law. I'm for law and order. I'm for rule of law all the way, 100%. I've read Thomas Hobbes' book, Leviathan, and I know that if we don't have the rule of law, we will kill each other. Can you imagine a bunch of guys with my ego and none of them want to agree on what the rules are? We would kill each other. It would be, it would be horrible. It would be murder in the streets. Men have big egos. Some men are strong and powerful. We must have laws that separate those men so that they understand they all must adhere to the rule of law.
You pulled me over because I looked at you.
No.
You didn't know if my phone was running or not. My phone's in my hand.
It was in your hand, exactly.
So I can hold my phone in my hand. How do you know I was recording you?
Phone was in your hand.
So I was pointing, I had my phone pointing at you. So that mean I was recording? You sure about that, copper? I got an inside dash cam. You want to make sure? And I got a back dash cam too. You literally pulled me over because I had my phone in my hand.
Exactly.
That's right, but that's not illegal. It's illegal to use your phone and use it as a talking device.
All right, and that's not a statute. Show it to me.
It is in the vehicle.
Show it to me.
You're holding your hand while operating.
Show it to me. Let me see it.
He's wrong. Now he's going to show me the statute, and at that point, I will ID. Because if you're telling me that you're charging me with a statute, the rule of law says that I have to show ID, and I don't break the law.
See it. I'm not getting in there, bro.
You want me to show it to you?
It's Pennsylvania versus Mims. Do you know what?
See what he tried to do?
Let me see it. Let me see it.
Can I have a seat in my car? Why? Why? I have 2 cameras rolling. What? I want to be a felon on camera? I don't think so, bud. I told him no.
I'm not getting in there, bro.
Remember, he's used to being told what to do, and I'm not.
Show it to you?
It's Pennsylvania versus Mims. Do you know what it is? The reason why I have to get out of my car is for what? For what? For officer safety. Are you afraid of me? You already said you're not. You let me reach in my glove compartment without any kind of worry because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But what I'm saying to you is you unlawfully pulled me over. Yeah, let me see it.
Okay, right here. This is why.
Dude, I'm not an attack dog. I'm not going to attack you, man. I'm not into committing felonies. Last I checked, I'm almost 50 years old. I've never committed one so far. So I'm not going to. You can even turn your back on me, bro. I'm not going to attack you, dude. I just don't like pigs. You signed up for a Death Star, bro. You don't get to just pull me over because you don't like that you could be on camera.
Oh man,
that's your felonies. Last I checked, I'm not an attack dog. I'm not going to attack you, man. I'm not into committing felonies. Last I checked, I'm almost 50 years old. I've never committed one so far. So I'm not going to. You can even turn your back on me, bro. I'm not going to attack you, dude. I just don't like pigs.
That is some funny stuff right there, isn't it? That is some, because I won't lie to these dirty, rotten jackboot thug pigs. I'll tell them I don't like you. I'm not on your side, but I can be a cordial human being, and I'm also not some violent assaulter.
Signed up for a Death Star, bro. Okay. You don't get to just pull me over because you don't like that you could be on camera. That's not how it works, dude. And if it is, I'll challenge it all the way up to the Supreme.
That's what he charged me with right here. 23123
in court.
Just give me a second, all right?
Whatever you need, buddy. You pulled me over because you don't like being filmed. Just plain as day. Nothing emergency. Better hurry.
Now here comes the dancing man.
Get hands on, boys. There's a guy with 2 cameras here. He's got 2 cameras. Hurry, come in hot. Come in hot. Get your gun out. Let's get hands on, boys. Grab this guy fast. He's got a camera on me. He's got a camera on me. I'm so scared. I'm a scared little copper. I'm so scared. He's got a camera, boys. Quick, call for backup. What's your mission? Protect the kids from school. Should all attack your children.
This guy rocks and rolls the whole time.
You can say anything you want, but just let me remind you of something. I'm a constitutional law scholar. I have 4 active lawsuits against pigs all over the country. This pig right here pulled me over for no reason.
Okay. So now he's going to show me the stat.
You're the backup pig, so you'll be a bigger, worse pig than the previous pig.
Are you failing to identify yourself to my partner?
Failing to identify myself? Give me the lawful reason why I was stopped. Let me see the code and statute.
So why am I asking for the code and statute? And this is the whole reason. Now, don't get me wrong. I love boasting when I do get a win in court, which I lose a lot. I win a lot. You're going to lose motions. You're going to win motions. Just because you lose a motion doesn't mean you lose the war. Recently, my case in Massachusetts was dismissed. The case isn't over. So all these people are like, tell me about your Massachusetts case. Your case was dismissed. It's over. I can file a motion to reconsider, and then I can refile the case. My case in Massachusetts is not over. It just depends on if I want to continue to pursue it, because I'm whipping the hell out of people in California. So do I want to pursue a case in Massachusetts? That's where I'm at right now. So I'm just being clear with you guys. I don't want to. So
tell me why I was lawfully stopped.
Okay.
So now this is the reason why I stopped it, because I'm not going to show these cops my identification unless they can rattle off a statute or ordinance that I violated. And then that's called probable cause. If they're claiming that you broke a statute or ordinance, even if you didn't, and they're charging you with that statute or ordinance, then you have to show your identification, because they're charging you with probable cause. They're not charging you with reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion is not a crime. When the cop says, here's the ordinance I'm charging you with, at that point, you have to give your ID. Or you go to jail for failing to ID when there's a probable cause situation. So I'm just telling you, this is the law. I don't necessarily enjoy every aspect of it, but I will follow it, because I do think that men need to follow the rule of law.
If not, boys, then good luck.
Okay.
Here we go.
Sir.
You guys get your cameras out. They're going to kill me.
Sir,
Make sure you film this. They might shoot me. No,
understand that, right?
I don't.
It's a lawful stop.
No, I
You need
don't.
to identify
No, I
yourself
don't.
to the police
I'm
So they're telling me it's a lawful stop, but they haven't listed an ordinance or a statute yet.
a constitutional law scholar. I'm in your town for a funeral.
Okay.
But you don't have the right to wrongfully stop me, because this silly pig doesn't like that he could be on camera. Let me tell you something. Tackle me, boys. Arrest me. Take me down on a Friday.
Okay.
You're saving the kids from the guy with the camera.
Okay.
I didn't do anything to be pulled over.
The officer kind of reason.
Well, then show me the ordinance. Why do you have a blue terror flag? This has been banned in Los Angeles.
This is
Why do
Los
you have that
Angeles.
blue terror flag
Are
on?
you going to identify yourself to the officer?
No, I don't have to identify. Show me the code and statute for which reason I've been pulled over.
You hear that? If he shows me the code, statute, ordinance for which I'm being charged, that's probable cause. You have to know the difference. I keep on getting this question. I'll make a daily friendly reminder tomorrow. You have to show your identification when they're charging you with a crime, with a probable cause standard, not reasonable articulable suspicion. If he says here, and
I have a right to know why I was pulled over. Show me the ordinance of being charged.
Okay.
Just show it to me, and I'm more than willing to comply.
Okay.
Is that
So-
fair enough?
Were you pulled over for, what was the reason for the stop?
Phone in his hand.
I had a phone in my hand.
Operating a motor vehicle, sir. You can't do that.
Okay, could show me the statute and
Okay.
ordinance, and I'll show you the California State Supreme Court says that's not
Okay.
true.
In the state of California, you cannot operate a vehicle with a device in your hand, your cell phone or such. You have to
That's not
be
what the-
hands-free.
No, that's wrong. I just showed you the People versus Spriggs. Here's the check that says that I'm right about the People versus Spriggs.
You have to be hands-free.
Do you want to see what the California State Supreme
No,
Court said
I'm not
about
gonna
that?
argue
You have to be hands-free if you're using your phone as a talking device.
with it, okay?
So
I'm
what
not
do you
gonna
want? What do you want
argue.
to
So
do?
here, if you can present yourself, are you a valid driver in California?
I don't want to answer any questions. I've been wrongfully stopped.
Okay.
If you guys want to impound,
The legislator subsequently enacts 23123.123.5, 123.4 only prohibits a driver from holding a wireless phone while conversing on it, not while filming cops. Big difference.
in my car and arrest me, then you're doing a great service to the
So,
community.
then
Way
you're
to
the
save
only one who's
everybody.
making a big deal out of this?
Oh, he
Yeah.
pulled me over for no reason. You didn't have a right to pull me over. Okay, well, show me the ordinance then. Let me see it. Show it to me, sir. I'm only asking for information. I'm not trying to run away. Obviously, I opened my car door. I'm a journalist with over 1,000 videos on my channels. So what are you talking about? You can't wrongfully come over here and demand my ID when I have not broken the law.
That's right. He cannot come over and demand my ID unless I have broken the law and they have the specific ordinance or statute they're charging me with. Now, here's the $1 million. Here's what we always see on the side of the road. Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Does he have to tell me what he's charging me first, or do I have to give him my ID first? Do I have to give him my ID before he tells me what I'm being charged with? In this particular case, because everything was recorded, I demanded to know the charges before I was willing to identify and told him I'm willing to go to jail for that. If you're willing to let me know what the statute is, what code I've broken, what ordinance I've broken, then I'm willing to show you my ID because that's probable cause.
Just show me the ordinance.
Right.
I just want to see it. That's all I'm asking for.
Right.
I'm not asking. I'm not.
23-123.
Okay, can I see it on your phone, sir? Is that okay?
Code. No.
If I can see it, then I'll show you my license.
It's California Vehicle Code 2323. Okay.
Okay. Can I just read it? Is that all right? I'm not asking for a miracle here.
Do you want to look it up on your phone right now?
Well, the thing is,
actually 23123, but these guys did a good job. They kept their cool. I'll be honest. You know what I mean? I don't like cops, but these guys didn't go hands-on. They didn't abuse me. They realized I was incensed and I believed I'd been wrongly targeted.
Is that I have to keep recording you guys because I never know if you guys are going to tackle me and try to attack me. And
you're not going to be tackled or anything like that. Okay. We're being okay with you. We're not being.
No, why'd you pull me over? He didn't pull me. He pulled me over because he was afraid I was filming him. So his ordinance what?
Oh,
it's ordinance what? Okay. But I'm going to stop this camera over here.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Any of these questions? Let's see what the council. Let me just device all that contain may. The Supreme Court in Riley.
Hold on a second. Let me
argue that in court.
I just have to take your ticket and then I have to
cite you out. So here's the thing: if you want to argue this in court, even if the officer was going to cite you or not, if you want to argue that in court,
I just have to take your ticket and then I have to go through the rigor mortis of having to go through court. You can legally waste all my time and my energy. Let me look up your statute real quick. My internet just came in.
Okay.
California statute 23123. And if it's a valid. Okay, I'm so sorry. Let me do it again. Okay. If it's valid, then I'll give you my license because I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Okay. Right.
California Vehicle Code 23123.
Right. You see what I'm doing here? I'm establishing that they have probable cause for me to give my identification.
Section prohibit driving a motor vehicle using a wireless phone. I wasn't using a wireless phone. A person shall not drive a motor vehicle while using a wireless phone unless that phone is specifically designated and configured to allow hands-free listening and talking that is used in the manner while driving. It is. I have hands-free available. I had one hand on the wheel and one hand on my phone.
Exactly.
So that's illegal?
Doesn't make you, yes, sir. It is.
That's illegal?
Yes.
For me to hold my phone in my hand is illegal?
It is.
Okay, so now what they've done here is I don't give cops compliments. It's not what I do. But Juan and the other cop here, Juan Zepeda and the other cop, they have patiently and calmly and slowly explained to me that they're charging me with a listed law. I'm pro rule of law, 100%. But what the cops are doing on the street is not upholding our rights. It's enforcing laws upon us. And that's where we get a tyrannical police state, prison state, death state. But when you see here, my reaction, when they give me the ordinance and they say, here's what we're charging you with, watch what my reaction is.
I have to give ID because it is a California statute. Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous.
At that point.
There you go.
Thank you. You stop right here?
Where am I going to go? You both got guns and sticks and tasers. Where are you going to watch me, bro? I don't need you to watch me.
I'll stay with you.
You don't need to stay with me either. I'm perfectly fine, dude.
Right. Thank you for giving your license, okay?
Well, I shouldn't have been pulled over. But because it's a legal code, you have to give your ID, or these jackboot thugs, because you're not just they would never put my hands behind my back. I would never give them my hands put behind my back. So in other words, I would die today because I'm not going to the dungeon.
That's a little hyperbole, to be honest with you. All right. It's a little hyperbole, right? The idea is that I'm not going to put my arms behind my back willingly, and I'm not. When the Las Vegas Metro Police Department put their hands behind I had to put my hands behind my back, they put a taser up to me and they were going to tase me. So they got 4 cops around me and a taser. I'm going to consciously object all the way to the end, but what I'm not going to do is turn violent in any way, shape, or form ever. If you ever hear that Delete Laws or ChilleDeCastro lost his mind and he started fighting the cops, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I've been face to face with cops lots and lots of times in the most intense situations. I've been in thousands of wrestling matches. My ears have been cauliflowered since I was 15 years old. Okay. I'm not ever going to fight a cop. I'm not going to get in a fist fight with a legal official. Not going to happen. So if they beat me up, they beat me up. But I'm not going to commit a felony and assault a police officer. Now, if we go to a civil war, hey, and let me remind you what Thomas Hobbes taught in his book, Leviathan, that is the beginning of the rule of law. Thomas Hobbes would write the book Leviathan 1585, and he's going to write the book. And in the book, he's going to say that he's going to write what the nature of man is, that man is the most brutish, violent, rapist being on earth, that we are the most violent thugs there are, and that we are the most selfish, self-centered, egotistical beings there are on planet Earth. And that if we don't agree to follow the rule of law, that there will be bellium omnium contra omnes, a war of all men against all men. So once these men who have been patient and then explain to me the ordinance, at that point, I'm going to give my identification and follow the process, which is the rule of law. I don't agree with all of the American processes of the rule of law, but I do agree that there has to be a rule of law and that we all must adhere to it, or it will be bellium omnium contra omnes, and there will be a war of all men against all men, and we cannot fall to tyranny. You and I, let these police jackboot thug pigs be tyrannical. You and I must be above the fray. We will use our First Amendment right to petition, to press, to speech, and to assemble. That's what we will do, but I will not turn violent. I will not be a violent man. And if this jackboot thug pig or this one right here attempts to arrest me, they will have to kill me because I will not go with them. I'm not going to a dungeon because this pig over, like I said, a little bit of hyperbole here, of course, because I'm a man with an ego, but at the same time, that it didn't happen that way. Here, and this pig over here want to drag. I mean, look at the terror flag he's wearing. Look at the terror flag he's wearing. And so in other words, and this guy's got a real nervous twitch about him. This man would have no problem dragging me off to a dungeon where I'd be strip searched and I would be subjected to all the torturous of the dungeon, the entire thing. And do you understand that dragging me off to the dungeon is the most dangerous place in the world for me?
Sir, I don't know what dungeon you're talking about.
The gym. All right, let me drop the link down in the chat for you guys. If you guys want to watch this full video, I'm going to stop it here, let you guys enjoy it from there if you want to. If you guys, I just dropped the link down in the chat. If you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to. Thank you guys for watching that with me. And I hope that you learned something here, that in a lot of situations, hyperbole and being a little bit hyperbolic is okay. Granted, it's mostly just trying to stand my ground here and not give up my manhood, because I don't want another man to tell me to put my hands behind my back unless he earns it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to force me to do something, then do it. But in a system of society where we have to get along with one another, once he tells me about an ordinance or statute I'm being charged with, at that point, I need to follow the rule of law and give him my ID. And I recommend you do the same thing. I don't recommend you fight the cops. Now, I'm being a smart ass here, and I'm being obviously inflammatory, but I'm not actually doing anything physical, and I wouldn't. I just want them to understand the veracity of and the intensity of my message, and that's what I was trying to get across here. So with that being said, welcome to Delete Laws, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming to my YouTube page. I appreciate it. Would you do me a favor? Hit the like button. There's a little thumbs up button right down there. It looks like this. It looks like one of these bad chickens. Just take it and hit the like button. If you would, just real quick, hit the like button, and then type in the comments down there, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put OTVO down in the chat. A couple things are going on right now. Floyd Wallace, News Now Omaha, was recently arrested, and he was put in jail. And Chevy Scottish writes on, what's going on, Bronco Nation family? David, how are you? Gloria, Jack of Jack, didn't I just see you over there on the politics of the bastards of politics? I saw you, Jack of Jack. I like the bastard of politics. So I was just on a page, y'all. Sometimes I'll spend a little bit of time surfing through YouTube and watching the people I subscribe to. I go to a lot of people's lives and I don't say anything. I just watch, However, on some pages, I'll chime in like Riot Girl or on Here's the Deal or on the politics, the Bastards of Politics, where I was just on their page. And I supported this guy. I support this guy named, I believe his name's Audie, A-U-D-I-E. And I support the Bastards of Politics. However, when I was in his live chat, he told me that 99% of cops were good. No, we don't agree. We don't agree at all. 99% of cops are not good. I would say it's less than half, if that. I would say it's, what's your percentage? Put your percentage right now in the comment section. Give me the percentage of good cops there are. Put it in the comment section. Let me read off some answers. Give me the percentage. Is 1% of cops good or 99% of cops good? What's the percentage of cops that are good? Let me read off some answers. No one says no good cops. Mikey B, what's going on, Playboy? How many good cops are there? 20% says Honey. Honey says 25%, 27%, 5%, 11%, 35%, 18%. That's a good one. Woke Pete. 18%. That's a random number. Minus 10% says Miss M. 25%. 99% are good, huh? Wow. You should go over and subscribe to a page called Politics, the Bastards of Politics. He believes the same thing you do. Now, I told him I support you. I don't agree with you, but I support you. Kinetic Customs and Racing, 0.1% of cops are good. CC Hope said 1%. King Charles says ACAB, ACAB. 1791 says 45% of cops. Wesley Ramsey, the only cop sucker. Sorry, Wesley. 100% of cops are good, Wesley. You're probably on the wrong page, brother. You're probably on the wrong. Now, don't kick Wesley out. Let him have his opinion. We're allowed to disagree. That's what makes America great. We're just like the Audis from the Bastard of Politics said. Ergo Desk says 0% of coppers are good. 0. Oh, so I got some loser just chimed in here. Hey, bro, you're the next guy I'm suing. I'm going to send you a cease and desist letter. Your comment didn't get through. And then I'm going to send you that cease and desist letter. If you don't take down the videos where you mimicked my voice, I'm going to sue you next. So let me just show everybody. This guy's name is Dickbag Patrol. He makes videos about me. You might want to look up the case called Bette Midler versus Ford Motor Company. You're going to get your cease and desist letter in the next 24 hours. If you don't take down the videos where you mimic my voice, I'll sue you. I'm suing you next. You're the next person I'm suing. Yeah, it's real. And you could say, oh, la-ti-da. They all say that till I sue them. And then they got to do a fundraiser. And that one woman in Massachusetts, she's getting killed in California. So let's see how it goes. So that guy's next. Dickbag Patrol, you're next, bro. I'm suing you next. I'm going to send you a cease and desist. Take a look at Bette Midler versus Ford Motor Company. I believe it's 1986. You can't steal my voice, bro. I'm suing you next. I really hope that you don't comply to my cease and desist. I really hope that you don't. I want to sue him next. I can't wait. I was trying to find a way to get this guy. When we found Ford Motor Company versus Bette Midler, I can sue him. Can't wait. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Ooh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I love suing these nasty nobody troll losers. I love it. It's one of my favorite. I used to think that I would only want to sue cops and bad government officials. I love suing these losers. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest with you. So this is Floyd Wallace, everybody. Welcome to DeleteLaws.com. Hit the like button if you would. Hit OTVO, put it in the chat. I'm going to start a new segment right now. This is the follow-up phone call with Floyd Wallace. I will put, let me let you guys listen to this video, and then I will share with you guys exactly what I did today. Actually, I've been working on this since Friday, but here is the video that
Yo. Yeah, man. Appreciate you getting me out last minute, man. I was getting concerned there. You know, I know I came unprepared and shit, but I think I just got too fucking comfortable. That ain't gonna happen again. That ain't gonna happen. That'll never happen again. Never. I normally keep a lot of money on me, but you know, I always, you know, I've been on a good streak with Texas, and I thought I was still in Texas when this occurred. So I crossed over to Arkansas, and I didn't know. If I was in Texas, I would have got out. But Arkansas is a whole other ballgame there.
Well, and you know how I work myself for 30 or 40 hours straight. So the time you called me, I'd been awake for 30 some odd hours, and I heard you. I just wasn't in a functioning state, so I needed a few hours of sleep. And then as soon as I woke up, jumped up and got on it, got you out. So
Yeah,
I'm sure you were like, what's wrong with him? But you know how hard I go hard. So
yeah, I thought he wasn't gonna come through, man. Last minute, I'm like, fuck, I gotta figure this shit out.
why would I leave you in jail?
Huh?
Why would I leave you in jail? It's only $400.
Yeah, I'm glad it was only that. That Bell's Boston. I didn't have to use that address.
I told him the truth. I told him he didn't live there. I said, but he's going to go back and go to court, and I'll put my reputation on it. He said, tell me about your reputation. So I told him who I was and told him who my channel was. He said, all right. I said, okay, man. I'll make sure he goes to court. Just get him out. He said, I'll get him out.
I'm definitely gonna go to court. So they got.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get that video extracted off the thing too. My phone.
yeah, they actually.
So my.
They got.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
They have cameras on top of the police station. The bail bondsman told me.
They do.
Yes. So I'm gonna file a FOIA, and I'm
I
gonna
ain't
get
gonna
that
lie.
camera.
I was auditing. You know how I audit, right? I was doing the ducking and diving and all that.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that though. You're just ducking and diving.
Yeah. So
what's wrong with that? You're allowed to be weird, Floyd. That's American.
Okay. I didn't want you thinking that I was, But I ain't doing nothing illegal though. I didn't touch him. So
you didn't do anything illegal. You didn't, and now they charge you with assaulting a police officer. Do you got your phone back?
Yeah, I got my phone, my glasses. My glasses is the main one because my phone, when he snatched it, I think it corrupted the video. But my glasses caught all of it. My glasses caught all of it.
Well, get that video because my people are going to want to see it. I'm going to have to crowdfund your $400 because I'm not a millionaire. Don't tell anybody.
I appreciate it, man. I'm about to.
I'm not rich.
I'm about to go to this hotel because I don't want to drive at night. And
don't blame you.
Then I'm probably about to
get that video straightened out so we can see it because I'm going to talk about this tonight on my live stream in about 10 minutes, and people are going to want to know why they charged you with assaulting a police officer. And I'm going to say because they lied. Because they're lying pigs. That's why they charge them with assaulting a police officer. It's a freaking lie. Hello? Are you new? Are you new to this whole game? Cops lie.
Well,
you didn't know cops lie about people?
Let me get this hotel. Let me try to get this video extracted from my glasses, and I'll send you the copy.
Well, whatever. Put it on your channel so you get the views. But I'll direct people over there. Just put it on your channel so I won't show everybody the whole video, so people got to go watch the whole thing on your channel. I want to make sure you get the credit you deserve for putting yourself in that position.
All right, I'll do that.
Much respect, dude. Much respect. You went into enemy territory without any backup, and you took a chance. And I'm proud of you. So I wasn't. Listen, if I'm difficult, it's just because I'm an asshole. But I'm not going to leave you in jail. You think I'd leave you in jail?
No, I don't think you did. I just, you know how you go to jail, you get real paranoid, man. That's just what that was.
Oh yeah. You're wondering who's going to get me out of here. Does anybody care about me enough to come up with $400 for me? You know, I was in Ironton, Ohio when half the town had showed out, and I went to jail, and it was one guy named Corey who came down and got me out, put up the whole money. So
thanks, Corey.
I knew
it's a scary situation going to jail, man. Kind of walking apart.
It's fucking terrifying, bro. It's fucking terrifying. And you're just trying to live. You're just trying to, you did a good job though. You went there and you audited that police department, and it takes a lot of balls to do that. A lot of people don't have those huevos that you have. So
I appreciate it, man.
You're supposed to put yourself in a vicarious position, and you're supposed to challenge it. And this will go down in history as one of the most prolific auditors there's ever been. You were written up in the Washington Post today, too. I told you earlier, but yeah, it's Washington Post First Amendment auditors are making a difference. You're listed in there.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you got the link to it, or I don't?
Yeah, I got the link. I'll send it to you right now.
All right. I appreciate it. I want to check that out. I didn't know.
All right, I gotta hope my people will crowdfund me back my money. So I gotta jump online and go live. I'll be live when you get to a hotel. I'll send you a live stream link, or we'll do it tomorrow.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
All right, Blake. Take care. Bye, buddy.
Yeah.
So there's Floyd Wallace. You just heard from him. He just got out of jail. So I'll do a small, if you guys are down and you want to jump in on a fundraiser, I appreciate it. If you can. If you can't, I just sent, if you take a look at that screenshot, I put $400 in just now with bail money for Floyd. And these are some other people who, this is from my Cash App. So I will put my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal up if you guys are so inclined and want to chip in on the Floyd Wallace bail. That'd be great. But at the same time, I took the chance on my own. And so I'm willing to eat it myself if I have to. I'm just not going to leave a man in jail. I'm not going to do it. Not when I got $400 sitting in my bank account. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. If any of y'all go to jail and you're in the act of auditing police, or you're in the act of holding them accountable, I'll get you out. I'll do a crowd fund for you and I'll get you out. I won't leave anybody in the dungeon when I have a platform with almost 300,000 subscribers, and I just won't do it. I won't do it. So I'll drop my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo in the chat right here. If y'all are so inclined and you want to donate, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal. They're all the same except for there's a dash in Venmo. I appreciate it. If you can, great. If you can, cool. If you can't, you can't. I understand. We did a lot of fundraisers this past month. I think last month we did over $6,000 in fundraisers in July alone. So a lot of you all have chipped in a lot of money. So I'm super grateful, but I could not allow. Walking Dead is asking me what's up with my glasses. Unfortunately, I have to wear glasses, and I have these little ring cameras. So these rings go on the reflection of my glasses, and then you can see the reflection in my glasses. I'm really sorry, but this is the only way you can see me. So I really wish I didn't have to wear glasses. I really do, bro. I'm sorry, man. I wish I didn't have the weird reflection too, to be honest. I wish it wasn't there. So a little fundraiser if you can, great. If you can't, if you're watching this next week, next month, next year, and you want to throw in $5, great. But I'm not going to leave Floyd Wallace in jail. When the cop walked up to him and kicked him in the nuts from the first second he saw him, he walked up to him. Floyd was doing his kind of hiding stuff, because Floyd does these antics when he audits police departments. He'll hide behind a brick wall and put his camera out, or he'll put a mask on and he'll go like this, and he's filming like this, because the idea is that you're free. If you're not breaking any laws, there's no reasonable articulable suspicion to detain, and there's no probable cause to arrest. And so Floyd pushes those boundaries. That's what he does. And so if you get arrested by the police and you are auditing them and filming them and you didn't break the law, you can reach out to me and I'll help you. I'm not going to leave you in jail. I'm not going to leave you in jail. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. I won't. I can't. I cannot leave people in jail when they are fighting for our rights. And, look, here's the thing. And for the people, I saw a couple comments in here for the bootlickers and stuff. Listen, every day for Team DLZ, just so you know, I hope every day that one of these guys crosses the line far enough where I can sue them. Every day when one of these disgusting bootlickers is making videos about me or doing something stupid, I'm hoping and praying that they cross the line. My fingers are crossed that they cross the line. I can serve them a cease and desist, and if they don't desist, I can sue their asses. And that's what I'm going to do with one of the guys who was just in here. As a matter of fact, it happens tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to suing that piece of shit. I can't wait. So don't let them beat you up. Don't let them get you down. You're always going to have a large contingency of bootlicking pipe suckers. Pipe suckers. I never called them that before. Bootlicking pipe suckers. I think that's what they are. I think that's what they are. Yeah, I've looked up Chevron deference, and that's a whole different conversation about the guns. So I can't go into that right now. But I'm doing a little tiny fundraiser. I'm trying to raise my $400 back. If you guys are so inclined, there's my PayPal, there's my Venmo, there's my Cash App. I'm not going to keep track right now. I'll report back in tomorrow. I have a couple other stories I want to cover. So this is what I did. I put myself out there. So be it. So be it. So be it. So in another story, welcome everybody to Delete Laws. Thank you for coming. Please put OTVO in the comment section. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Thank you, Robert Stovall, for your super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. That's what I want to do. I want to crowdfund $5, $10, $15, $20 from 100 people, and then that'll cover any fees that we have to do, that we incur when we have to take on the state. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. I really super appreciate it. Super duper appreciate it. I want to cover another story though. So welcome to Delete Laws. Click OTVO in the chat. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you guys are unfamiliar with this case, you will remember it. It is very recent. And I saw this pop up on police brutality, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. This copper walked in and shot this guy in the head in about 5 seconds. It took him 5 seconds before he walked in and shot this guy and killed him just with a real quick pop and just shot him. And he's finally been charged with murder. And so I actually wanted to show this video.
NBC4 was the first to tell you Friday about former Columbus police officer Ricky Anderson's indictment. This is the booking video of Anderson after he turned himself in the Franklin County Jail. This comes almost a year to the day since 20-year-old Donovan Lewis was shot and killed by Anderson. He was unarmed and in his bed. Thanks for joining us for NBC4 at 11. I'm Kyle Beachy.
Did you guys hear what he said? He was unarmed and in his own bed. What was that pig's name? I didn't hear the pig's name. What was that piggy's name?
Tell you Friday about former Columbus police officer Ricky Anderson's
Ricky Anderson murdered this guy within like 2 minutes of walking into his house. The guy's in bed, asleep.
Indictment. This is the booking video of Anderson after he turned himself in the Franklin County Jail. This comes almost a year to the day since 20-year-old Donovan Lewis was shot and killed by Anderson. He was unarmed and in his bed. Thanks for joining us for NBC4 at 11. I'm Kyle Beachy. Several Columbus police officers, including Anderson, went to an apartment building to serve Lewis an arrest warrant. Anderson is now facing charges of murder and reckless homicide. NBC4's Isabel Cleary caught up with the FOP and shows us their reaction to this indictment.
We were able to speak with FOP Executive Vice President Brian Steele about this indictment. This comes after he released a statement Friday focusing on the prosecutors in this case. That statement read in part, quote, "An indictment is far easier to secure than a conviction, which may also explain why Franklin County Prosecutor Tyak appointed special prosecutors to the case to save his office the embarrassment of another acquittal," end quote. Saturday, Steele spoke on getting to this indictment.
He deserves to try.
Which may also explain that statement.
So I want to show you something, and don't just gloss this over. This is who we are fighting. We are fighting the Fraternal Order of Police. That's who our fight is with. The Fraternal Order of Police must be broken. And that's how we have to continue. So this is from the Fraternal Order of Police.
Read in part, quote, "An indictment is far easier to secure than a conviction," which may also explain why.
So an indictment is far easier to secure than a conviction, which may explain why Franklin County Prosecutor Tyak appointed special prosecutors to the case to save his office the embarrassment of another acquittal. So now I want to cover this in a couple different ways. So the first one is that the laws in our country have been crafted to favor police, to give them our rights, where even when we see on video that the cop walked in and shot this kid in the head within 1 minute of entering his apartment, that the laws in our country are crafted to protect police. The Fraternal Order of Police is so certain that he'll be acquitted that they're even gaslighting the prosecutor, because the prosecutor and the police are best friends. They work hand in hand. When you say, oh, we're going to convene a grand jury, well, who's convening the grand jury? The person convening the grand jury is best friends with the police. They work hand in hand with the cops every single day. Whoever's writing this letter from the Fraternal Order of Police is saying, oh, you're going to make sure your prosecutor Tyak doesn't file this. You're calling in a special prosecutor so that you can save yourself the embarrassment of the acquittal later. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Let's look at it from that angle. So the first angle is that the Fraternal Order of Police is so confident that they're going to get an acquittal, even though you see the murder happen in 2 seconds, but they're sure of it. The second is that they're willing to create an adversarial position with the district attorney who's best friends with the local cops. They're not best friends with the Fraternal Order of Police brass. They're in opposition because the Fraternal Order of Police doesn't want any cop prosecuted for anybody, for murdering anybody. So they're willing to take on the special prosecutor and even the prosecutor's office and create an adversarial relationship because they don't want their cop prosecuted no matter what. Think about that. The Fraternal Order of Police is picking a fight with their best friend because their best friend is going to prosecute one of their cops. District attorneys and cops are best friends. When you call in a special prosecutor, you're calling in an old retired prosecutor who was best friends with the cops for 30 years. The idea of a special prosecutor is crap. It's not an independent third-party agency that got its funding from the state, but you have a bunch of retired lawyers and prosecutors who actually want to get the cop convicted of murder. You don't have that. When you get a special prosecutor, you have a special state actor working for the state to make sure that the grand jury does not come back and say that there needs to be a trial, that there's no probable cause, or that if you do go to trial, the special prosecutor just slumps it, waffles it, balk, drops the ball. Oh, I dropped the ball. Whoops. And then the cop gets off for murder. The Fraternal Order of Police is the gorilla that we have to take on, which is why I talk about that transparency app. I'll talk more about that later, but let's finish.
My Franklin County prosecutor Tyak appointed special prosecutors to the case to save his office the embarrassment of another acquittal. End quote. Saturday.
Fraternal leader addresses indictment of former Officer Ricky Anderson charged Friday in Donovan Lewis's death. And then can we see the name there? Does it say Brian Steele, S-T-E-A-L? Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 9. That's the guy's name, Brian Steele, S-T-E-E-L. Brian Steele. I went to high school with a guy named Brian Steele.
Saturday, Steele spoke on getting to this indictment.
He deserves a trial. If he's found guilty by a jury of his peers, then, hey, I'm sorry, Ricky, it was a bad day to be the police for you. That's not what we do. The FOP, we defend the process.
No, you don't. You try to hide the process, you lying scumbag. You lying scumbag.
Deserves a trial. If he's found guilty by a jury of his peers, then, hey, I'm sorry, Ricky, it was a bad day to be the police for you.
It was a bad thing to be the police for you, Ricky. Forget about Donovan Lewis.
Not what we do. The FOP, we defend the process.
The process, including the length of time it took to get to an indictment.
The family and I share the same concern with the way this grand jury worked. It took a year. That was far too long. Whether we think or whether the FOP thinks Ricky is guilty or not guilty does not matter. It should never take a year.
Oh, yeah. Here's the stop. They walk into this guy's house and they shoot him immediately. Watch.
After Ricky Anderson fires one deadly shot, officers stand outside Donovan Lewis's bedroom and shout commands.
Crawl out here. Crawl. Get your hands up. All right.
They enter the bedroom about 30 seconds after the gunshot. As Anderson leaves the apartment, he tells Officer Harry Dorsey,
he'd come out like this.
Just over 1 minute after the shot is fired.
We need a medic in here. Officer involved.
They're cuffing up the dead body. That's who the cops in our country are. You wonder why I call them bastards? That's it right there. They're cuffing up a dead man.
All right. I got first aid kit in the car.
Before they render aid,
they shot him in the head. His brains are falling out the side of his head.
Pat him down, make sure he's good.
Officer Justin Dodd.
He's naked in his bed, unarmed.
Runs to his car to get his first aid kit, while the
brains are coming out the side of his head. No first aid kit's going to help.
Others decide.
Let's get him out to the medic.
When Dodrell returns with the supplies, officers are carrying Lewis down the stairs by his arms and legs.
Slow down. I can't keep up. I have no grip.
Dorsey slips and drops Lewis's upper body. When the officers get Lewis down the steps, they lay him on the grass and begin rendering aid. About 3.5 minutes have gone by since the shooting at this point.
Medics here.
An officer is doing chest compressions when medics arrive, just under 6 minutes after the gunshot. And as Carrie mentioned, Columbus police say they have no additional comment on this case, Jared.
Jamie, thank you. The attorney representing Officer Ricky Anderson, Mark Collins, said after the shooting that the investigation must look at the totality of the circumstances, adding...
So that's going to be the 1981 case of 1968 is Terry versus Ohio. It's going to be extended in the 1981 case of, I want to say, I'm blonde, Lopez versus United States. It's...
quote, unlike all of us, officers are not afforded the luxury of armchair reflection when they are faced with rapidly evolving, volatile encounters in dangerous situations, end quote.
They opened the door. The kid was in bed. That's a lie. That's an absolute and total lie. That's not true at all whatsoever. What a total and complete, utter lie. What a lie. What a lie. Just crap. Just absolute crap. Just absolute crap. It just drives me absolutely bonkers. It's just driving me crazy. I drew a blank on that case and it's driving me nuts. I can't stand it when I just can't total recall immediately. It just drives me absolutely crazy. Cortez versus United States, 1981. I think it's 1981. So Cortez makes it so that the police can take the totality circumstances of a situation to build up probable cause. So Cortez is just a feeder for Terry versus Ohio. We don't have enough reasonable articulable suspicion, so we'll just take the totality circumstances of the scene to create reasonable suspicion. Number one, reasonable suspicion is not the constitutional standard, it's probable cause. So they lowered it to reasonable suspicion, and then they lowered it again in Cortez, saying, just try to collect some facts and say that makes all the facts together, makes it reasonably suspicious. There it is. There it is. 0%. Manny's a little bit behind in the live stream. 0% of cops are good is what Manny is saying. Thanks, Manny. You guys, so what we're seeing is just unbelievable. Okay, so then, welcome to Delete Laws, everybody. Hit the thumbs up button if you would, please. Hit the thumbs up button right down there. We still got, 500 people here. Hit the thumbs up button if you would, please. Hit the thumbs up button and then type in the comment section below, OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. So do you guys remember in Minneapolis in 2020, there was a guy named George Floyd, and George Floyd was murdered by the cops right there in front of everybody. And do you remember the scene? Derek Chauvin had his knee on Floyd's neck as he was in torture cuffs, slowly cutting off the blood supply to his brain so that he would die. And eventually he died of asphyxiation. And they say, oh, he had meth in his system. He died because there was a knee on his neck for 8 or 9 minutes. That's why he died. He didn't die because of any other reason. He died because there was a knee in his neck. Well, do you remember? Does everybody remember that? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember. Do you remember when George Floyd was murdered and there was a couple cops and they were standing on the side while Chauvin, however you say his name, was slowly murdering George Floyd? Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that? Well, let me share something with you that's pretty interesting. What happened is one of those piggies was recently just got 57 months in jail for his role. And this is, so the guy who gets 57 months in jail is Derek Chauvin's wife's brother, his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law. Now, unless there's new information that I don't know, from the information that I have been gathering, this cop who got sentenced to 5 years in prison, 57 months, so he'll do a year and then get out with good time. This was Chauvin's brother-in-law from the information that I was given. So it could be wrong. I'm always open to misinformation hitting my front door just like it does everybody else. But this copper right here, he finally got sentenced to prison as he should have. And I mean, really, he should be taken out and have a knee put on his neck for 9.5 minutes. But then we fall into a culture of like the Romans, and then our entire society falls because killing people is bad. Killing people is bad. I don't agree with it. So let's check this out. And this guy finally gets sentenced. His name is Tao To. Anybody Asian that can speak Tao Thao? Is that how you say his name? Touthao.
Verse 19. You shall not pervert justice. You shall not show partiality. Blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. Also, scripture tells us that it is not good to go against your conscience. And despite what this court has ruled, I know we cannot hide our thoughts or intent from God, for we must give an account on the day we appear before God. Therefore, I must obey. Hold on to the truth that I did not commit these crimes. My conscience.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Don't sit there and lie. Yes, you did. You sat there, you pig, you filthy, nasty, disgusting pig. Don't let him. They tried to do this in Ironton when I was at the courthouse. They had a preacher come in and hold his book up and say, God bless the first responders. And I stood up and said, sit down, preacher. I stood up and told him, sit down and shut up. I did. You're not going to come in here with your God bullshit when someone's murdered someone else and say, God this and God that and God this. No, you piece of trash. You need to go to prison, and you should be in prison for 20 years at least. But now he gets up there and says, oh, I've got to face my maker, God. You sent George Floyd to his maker, piggy. You sent George Floyd to his maker. You should spend the rest of your life in a dungeon like the rest of us have to. If I put my knee on someone's neck for 8 or 9 minutes and they died, I would spend the rest of my days in a dungeon. But this pig gets up there and starts going, oh, God, this, God, that. No, bro, God can forgive you for your soul. I'm human. I'm flawed. I can't do it. Burn in hell. You spend the rest of your life in a dungeon, and then I'll pray to God that he can forgive you, because my human soul, I cannot forgive you for what you did. I cannot. Sorry. Let God deal with your soul. But don't sit there in the courtroom and say, oh, spare my skin the years in prison because God will judge me later. Bullshit, dude. You are a thug, you are a criminal, and you are a murderer. Don't sit there and say you didn't commit crimes, because you sure did, bud.
Just clear.
After 3 years of reflection, I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching.
I can't breathe, man. Please.
What do you mean he didn't do it? I thought he said a second ago he didn't do it. He said a second ago he didn't do
preaching.
it. I mean, that is him right there, isn't it? Isn't that him right there with his knees on the guy's body as Chauvinot is slowly but slowly choking him out to death?
I can't breathe, man.
Wow, he's saying, I can't breathe, man.
Please.
Please, he's begging. Please, don't kill me. Let me up.
You think that's cool though, bro?
Suffice it to say that I think your culpability is less than Mr. Chauvin, but well above Mr. King and Mr. Lane as an experienced senior officer who was in the best position to save George Floyd. Accordingly, it's my belief that a sentence at the top of the range would be condign punishment. So as to count 2, having been found guilty by the court of aiding and abetting manslaughter in the second degree, after a trial pursuant to Minnesota Rule of Criminal Procedure 26.01 Subdivision 3, judgment of the court is that you are convicted of that offense. Count 1 is dismissed pursuant to the negotiation. You are sentenced to 57 months in prison with credit for 340 days already served. This
So read that again. Let's hear the sentence again, and then let's do the math.
40 days already served. To the negotiation. You are sentenced to 57 months in prison with credit for 340 days already served.
So 1 year already gone, and he's serving 57 months. So 57 months turns into 45 months. Now 45 months with good time. Has anybody ever done any time in prison? Because I've never done any prison time. What does 4 years break down to with good time? Can you do 18 months? Can you do 18 months? Because he's getting credit for a year. He's getting served with 57 months, take away 12. That brings you down to 45. 45 months is roughly 4 years. So what would that be? How much time is he going to serve? Because, of course, he's going to be put in a special place so that he can't be murdered for being a pig. But then, so he's going to do 2.5. That's what the crowd is saying. The comment section is telling me 2 years, 2.5, 2 or 3 is what Truth is saying. reprehensible saying 2. 2 years, 6 months, reprehensible saying. He'll be out in 2 years, says Tom. Okay. I think he's out in less than 24 months. Put a 1 in the chat if you think he does less than 24 months. Put a 1 in the chat if he does 24 months. Put a 2 in the chat if you think he does more. So Big John's saying 25% off for good time. You only get 25% off. So let's keep listening and see if the judge is going to say that he has to do a little bit more. That if he has, because just so you guys know, Joe Biden, current president, Joe Biden, he wrote, Joe Biden is the worst man. I used to think that the worst president was Howard Taft or Andrew Johnson. I think the worst president ever has been Joe Biden, because he created the for-profit prison industry funding apparatus with Bill Clinton. Reagan created the for-profit prison system in 1982. They really had a lot of chinks in the armor all the way up until Clinton was elected in 1992. So 10 years had passed, and Joe Biden, who became was what would be the vice president for Barack Obama, the whole time that Bill Clinton was running for president, Joe Biden was in the Senate. And what was he doing? He was writing the criminal asset forfeiture laws and the civil asset forfeiture laws. And he was proposing that if you get sentenced to prison, you should serve 100% of your time in prison. I made videos about his speeches. That's Joe Biden. He could be the worst president, and he's a total criminal thief. It's not like Clinton, who was just diddling the chicks. Well, Clinton could be a pedophile too, because he was going to Epstein Island all the time. But I heard he was having an affair with Maxine Giswell, whoever her name is, the female pedophile leader. And so anyway, let me stay on track here. So Joe Biden, he's the guy that wrote all these mandatory minimum sentences for prisons. Joe Biden is the guy who wrote and literally expanded criminal asset forfeiture and civil asset forfeiture. That's Joe Biden. And so Joe Biden was one of those guys that believes that this guy should do 100% of his time in prison. Let's see what the judge says.
This sentence will be concurrent with your federal sentences.
I apologize, Your Honor.
And will be served at a federal facility designated by the United States Bureau of Prisons. Upon release from your federal sentence, you will be transferred to the Minnesota Department of Corrections to serve the remainder of your state sentence, unless alternative arrangements are made with the United States Bureau of Prisons. Your provided DNA sample is required by law, and you are prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition for the remainder of your life. Pay a $50 fine, $75 surcharge, and $3 law library fee.
$50 fine, $75 surcharge, and a law library fee?
From prison wages. Any questions?
Oh, no. God bless you, sir.
All right.
Dude, sorry, bro. I guess he had to find Jesus, didn't he? He had to find God or something after he was posted all over our country as being a murderer and an enabler of murder.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.
I figured it.
Murderer. You're a murderer, bro. You're a piece of shit. You're the reason why we had riots in America. You are a piece of shit. May God have mercy on your soul, my friend, because I tell you what.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 19. You shall not pervert justice.
Oh, so he started off with a scripture.
Deuteronomy 16, verse 19.
Deuteronomy, verse 16, 19. Well, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not. I was a Catholic altar boy. And so wow. So here's Deuteronomy 16, 19. Let me share this with you guys. So he starts off reading some scripture. Well, let's just take a look at the scripture that he's reading. I read a lot of scripture as a kid. So let's read it again. You shall not, sorry about that. Let me open that big for you guys. Deuteronomy 16, 19 and other translations. You shall not show partiality, and you shall not accept a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and subverts the cause of the righteous. You must never twist or justice or show partiality. So is he saying, do not pervert justice. So he's trying to show the judge here that he knows from biblical teachings that he's not supposed to pervert justice, because he's literally reading 16:19. Do not accept a bribe and do not show partiality. So this pig here was trying to avoid the dungeon by saying that he had learned his lesson, that you should not show partiality, you should not accept a bribe, that justice is just. Well, you murderer, you should have thought about that when you were allowing Chauvinot to stick his knee in Floyd's neck. And I'm not sure, they kind of cut that clip off, but George Floyd was trying to get in the back of the car, and they essentially pulled him out, put him on the ground, and that's where they killed him, right there in the right below the tire wheels of the car. So, you know, pretty sad, pretty sad. But is it justice? Let me ask you guys a question. Is it justice that this cop's done 1 year in prison? Let's say he does 4 years. Let's say that the comments are correct, that he does 2.5 plus 1. Let's say he does 3.5 years. Do you think that that is just punishment for him murdering George Floyd and the billions of dollars in damages that was caused from the riots and looting across our country? Just so you guys know. And I want to talk about this just for 1 second. You know, I'm a man that is for law and order. I am not for criminality. I don't support drunk driving. I don't support criminals. I don't support breaking and stealing things. I don't support stealing. I don't support hurting people. You guys have heard me get mad at cops and invite them down to go wrestle a pig on the mats. I'm not going to do that anymore either. I don't support criminality in any way, shape, or form. The system we've devised now is not intended to stop criminality. If the system we devise now was intended to stop criminality, why do we have so much crime? It's not intended to stop criminality. It's intended to rape you, to steal your money out of your wallet, to take the money from the middle class. That's what our system is created for today. Our system is not created to stop criminals, because if you want to stop a criminal, you'll educate him. John Locke, founder of natural law, the system that we live on, life, liberty, and property, the basis of the Constitution is based on John Locke's philosophy of natural law. He said, show me the character of a man and I'll show you how much education he has. So there it is. This is, if we really cared about ending crime in our country, we would take the 95% of people in prisons and jails who are not criminally insane. Now, 5% of those people got to live in a box. I am completely against prisons and jails, 100%. Against prisons and jails, 1000%. I do not think people should be locked in a dungeon. There is a fraction of people that need to be locked away. There's a small fraction of people that if we don't lock them away, they will rape your children and kill your mother. There is a small fraction of criminally insane people who we can test to see if they're criminally nuts, and they need to live in a box. I get that. And the pedos, as far as I'm concerned, I've told you guys my position, pedophile island. Put them on an island. We do bi-monthly food drops. They get knives and silverware and plates and everything else. They just don't get any electronics, and they live on an island. That's my idea for pedos. You get caught raping kids, you're gone, bro. You're gone. Out of our country, out of our lives. We never see you again. Your family knows you're alive. We'll let them know when you're dead. But you're not going to talk to them ever again. You rape kids, you live on an island with a bunch of other pedo asses. And then you guys can rape each other. It's going to be great for you. Thanks, Launchpad. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me read a couple names because I saw that a couple of super chats came in to my PayPal, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate it because I just put out $400 for Mr. Floyd Wallace. And I want to say thank you to those people who just donated to me. God bless you. I really appreciate it. Chevy already. Thanks, Chevy. I appreciate your donation, man. Thank you so much. It means so much to me, dude. I'm really just a regular old chump. Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate your donation. Thank you, Alec. I appreciate your donation. Jennifer, thank you. A trifold and gift one to someone else. Oh, Jennifer sent me $9 or sent me $20 for 2 digital downloads for trifolds that I send to you, but I don't have your email address, Jennifer H. So contact me. Donald, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Let me check my Cash App. Let me just thank a few people. I'm doing a fundraiser because I just spent $400 today for Floyd's bail. So I'm raising $400 and I got about 125 of it right there. Thank you. Thank you so much for your donations. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Really means a lot to me. It really, really does. Really does. No money in Cash App. Let's check Venmo. Let's see where we are. Let's just see if anything came in here on Venmo. I'll check that. Nope. So just on PayPal, just a couple people donated, but thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't have to take the brunt of the entire $400 myself. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you guys for donating. I appreciate you. So now thank you, Launchpad. I appreciate it. Bronco Nation family, what is going on? Thank you, Rights On, for a super chat. I did not see that. Thank you, Rights On. God bless you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Recoup for Floyd's bond. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Look, I wasn't going to leave Floyd in jail. It was only $400 and I had it, so I just did it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to bail bondsman. I got him on the phone. Actually, we had to call a few bail bondsmen in Arkansas because Floyd's actual address is out of state. He doesn't have a residence in Arkansas, so we had to call a few bail bondsmen. But then the second or third one we called was a really cool guy, and that's who I sent the $400 to, and we got him out of jail. So Floyd right now is no longer in jail, and it's because y'all. Because I know that I have backing enough to put out that $400, and if I run short on rent at the end of the month, I could do another fundraiser if I have to. But I know that I'll be okay, and it's 100% because of you guys. I wouldn't feel this way if it wasn't for Rights On and Launchpad, Daryl, and a few of y'all. Thank you. I love Yahweh. King James, good to see you, man. Nice to see you, James King. How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Shakur Capital, good to see you. Good to see you. Nice to see everybody. All right, so let me show you another video that I saw here. Whoops, not this one. Sorry about that. Stop sharing. Thank you, Rights On, for the OTVO, Overturn Terry. Do me a favor, everybody, hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. You see the like button? It's right there. It's got a thumb on it. Hit the like button. And then type in the comment section, OTVO, Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Just Kinetic Customs and Racing. Type it in there, brother. OTVO. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see everybody. Rick, Free Spirit, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Shock Professor, Rick, what's going on? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Ooh, I can't wait. Tomorrow's the day I hope I get to sue another person. I really hope I get to sue this loser. I really hope I get to sue him. Looking forward. I really hope, because tomorrow's the day I serve this dude, and then after that, I'm going to sue his ass. The old TikTok, my old TikTok friend. What's going on, Farmal? How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. Now, let me share with you guys another one. Let me show you guys something else I was looking at today. Okay, so this guy right here, this Nassau County officer, tasered a guy. He tasered a dude. Let me just... OTVO, put it down in the chat if you would, please. Put it down in the chat. OTVO. So this copper, he grabs a guy for jaywalking and tases him. So you guys see my short? I made a short last week that said that Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, that if you walk across the street and if there's a statute or ordinance that makes it illegal to cross the street without a crosswalk or a stoplight, that you can be arrested. And because of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista 2001, it is not a violation of your Fourth Amendment right to an unreasonable seizure. Unreasonable. The entire way you can be arrested is based on the reasonableness standard of the Fourth Amendment. And the Fourth Amendment says that no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation. It is the right of the people to be secure in their person, houses, and papers and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. So this Nassau County officer tasers this guy for jaywalking, and $1 million lawsuit is filed because it is unreasonable to taser somebody for crossing the road because it violates an ordinance. Atwater versus City of Lago Vista must be overturned. The idea that you can be arrested for any infraction of the law. So just so you know how they do it at the Supreme Court, and it takes a lot of years of studying Supreme Court cases to learn this, but I learned it. Here's what you learn. In a Supreme Court case, you have 9 so-called justices. You have 9 oligarchs, 9 people who are just hand appointed to do the bidding of the elites. We didn't ever name one Supreme Court justice you've ever heard of before they were appointed to the court. You've never heard of any of them. They are the elite's handbag to make sure that the Chamber of Commerce is supported. That the people who are appointed to the Supreme Court, the number one support they give is to the United States Chamber of Commerce. Did you know that? Did you know that? I'll bet you didn't know that. Everybody's like, oh, I'm a liberal conservative. I'm a conservative. I'm for Scalia. I'm for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They are all for the Chamber of Commerce. And who's the Chief Justice? John Roberts. You might as well call him Chief Justice of the Chamber of Commerce. All of the bidding that the Supreme Court does, liberals or conservatives, the first thing they do as they're hand selecting their elitist little bitch, what they're seeing is to make sure that you're going to uphold big business and big money first. The new Supreme Court Justice, Kanita, there was this big fight. Let's get a black woman on the Supreme Court. Let me tell you, her number one allegiance is to the Chamber of Commerce. Her skin is not black. Her skin is not white. Her skin is green. Her skin is green for the Chamber of Commerce. That's what the entire Supreme Court is based on. You don't get even your name mentioned. You don't even get a nod to be nominated for the Supreme Court unless first they know you're for big business first, right? If you get into a case where there's a ruling for the people or big business, you're going to rule for big business, right? Absolutely. 100%. Yes, I am. That's Clarence Thomas. That's Kagan. That's John Roberts. That's Clarence Thomas. Stephen Breyer just stepped down. That's all of them. Every single one of them is for big business. So I want you guys to understand that. You guys are like, oh, I got my conservative Scalia. Scalia partnered with Ruth Bader Ginsburg to make sure marijuana remained illegal, that you couldn't grow homegrown marijuana. It's going to be the 2005 case of Reich versus Gonzalez, R-A-I-C-H versus Gonzalez. And so that case, the 2005 case of Reich versus Gonzalez, Scalia and Ruth Bader Ginsburg voted together to make sure marijuana would stay illegal. Since that day in 2005, over 7 million people have been arrested for marijuana. I hope Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Anthony Scalia are down in hell burning, and the devil is sticking them with a pitchfork every 5 minutes. I hope you don't take too much of the things I say too seriously, but yeah, that is 100% true. So now this guy, using the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, he decides he's going to taser a dude. He's going to taser him for jaywalking.
I woke up on the ground. I don't remember hitting the floor, but I was tased twice.
It was April of this year when 33-year-old Mark Merritt had a run-in with 1st Precinct officers of Nassau County. It was caught on police body camera.
Give me ID. For what? For jaywalking. Give me.
And on the police report, it says it's a crime against society.
Give me your ID for jaywalking. Remember, he's giving him a statute or ordinance. Like I told you earlier, probable cause is when they can list a statute and ordinance that you've broken, and then you have to give them your ID.
Jaywalking is now a crime against society.
It was here in Baldwin, crossing Grand Avenue, where Mark Merritt said he was first confronted by Nassau County police. Merritt, who works for a building supply company, says he and a correction officer buddy.
You see that? Do you see that? Do you see how these cops just so openly just put their hands on you? And this is the problem that I have with these nasty jackboot thug pigs. Now, listen, I'm 48 years old now. I'm learning that it's no longer my time physically. I'm learning the hard way every time I go and grapple, do jujitsu or wrestling. I'm learning every time I get on the mat that my time has passed. I'm no longer the physical juggernaut that I used to be. It used to be if you stepped on the mat with me, you got tore up from the neck up. You got ripped up, like just tore apart. I used to be so dominant on the mat that if you wrestled me, you would have to decide if you wanted to wrestle me because tomorrow you're going to be hurt because I would just tear people apart. And now I'm 48. And unfortunately, I'm learning that I'm no longer as capable as I once was as I fight these guys who are in their 20s who are world level jujitsu guys. This guy handed me my ass last week in like a minute. It took a minute. Like I tell guys, it'll take me less than a minute to destroy you. Now, these guys in their 20s who are world level jujitsu guys, they destroy me in less than a minute. So, I'm humbled to say the least. But the part I hate the most, and the reason why I stopped the video, is because these pigs, I still train all the time. I still train regularly. These pigs will put their hands on you because they have a badge on, because they know that I can't grab them and throw them on the ground. And so that's the reason why I don't like cops touching me.
Supply company says he and a correction officer buddy were trying to get their friend's motorcycle started by pushing it out of the lot and into the street. Officers looked on from a gas station, and Merritt says instead of helping, demanded his ID. Merritt said he'd done nothing wrong and refused.
So look at that. He went to go push a motorcycle out of the street, and now he's telling him, give me your ID for jaywalking, and if he doesn't, he's going to tase him, and then he does.
I think it was more his ego. It was more of a, I'm demanding you to do something, you're not listening. So,
and remember, he's out with another pig. So this guy right here, he's out with his buddy who's an off-duty pig.
I'm going to show you who really has the power.
He appeared to taser Merritt when he reached into his pocket for his ID.
It's a total effort to harass a young black man, and it's wrong.
Okay, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Stop it right there. Stop. Now listen. You guys know that if you go to my website, it says defining the history of institutional racism on a timeline where I point out all the Supreme Court cases that give our rights to cops are based on stripping the rights of black men. That's a fact. So I'm 100% in the category that the laws were created based on racism. But what this lawyer said right here, I have a little bit of an issue with. And let me.
Who really has the power?
He appeared to taser Merritt when he reached into his pocket for his ID.
It's a total effort to harass a young black man. And
No. Sorry, lawyer. Go to my website. I know the laws were created based on racism. Every single gun law in America is based on racism. Terry versus Ohio is based on racism. Pennsylvania versus Mims, you got to get out of the car, and the officer safety is based on racism. The 2009 case, Arizona versus Johnson, if you're the passenger in a car, you have to get out of the car in the name of officer safety. That's based on racism. The 1985 case of Tennessee versus Garner, where cops can shoot you as you run away in the name of officer safety, is based on racism. Eugene Garner was shot in the back of the head in 1974. When his case got to the Supreme Court in 1985, they ruled in favor of Eugene Garner that it's illegal to shoot people in the back of the head unless it's in the name of officer safety. Eugene Garner was black. The 1995 case of Wilson versus Arkansas that says police cannot no-knock raid your home unless it's in the name of officer safety. Wilson was a black man. The 2013 case of Florida versus Harris is based on a dog barking at your car is probable cause. Harris was a black man. The 1996 case of Wren versus United States, WHREN, 1996, Wren versus United States, an extension of Terry versus Ohio. In 1996, Michael Wren was a black man. So the laws that you and I are subjugated to, the laws that you and I create a tyrannical police state, are passed for black guys. 100%. The cop didn't shoot this guy just because he was a black guy.
Effort to harass a young black man. And
the cops shot him because he didn't comply with them, and they would have shot white, yellow, blue, pink, orange, green, you name your skin color, they would have shot you with that taser. The laws have been put into effect for blacks, but now they're for all of us. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. If the cop can taser you, he will. He will. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm correct. If a cop can tase you, he will. I can feel the anger. I can feel the anger go over my body, and I want to punch the table, and I want to say, are you fucking listening? If a cop can tase you, he will. Like, that's how like the anger that I just felt flush over my body. I feel it often when I'm auditing cops. I'll feel like this flash of anger go over me, like I just felt just now, because I'm so right. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. These jackboot thug pigs want to hurt you. And that's why we have to abolish. We have to get rid of all of them.
And it's wrong.
We see a foot on his back and a knee on his leg.
Today was the first time I saw the video, and it's extremely disturbing for me. It's heartbreaking. It's devastating.
Attorney Kenneth Mullins says they will file a $1 million lawsuit for excessive and unjustified force and harassment. Nassau is unable to respond due to pending litigation.
I think if I'd have been a female, I'd have been a white male trying to help somebody, it wouldn't happen.
Oh, no. Sorry about that, bro. I understand you're pulling the race card. I get it. When you sue filthy pigs, you should pull the race card. I understand that. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that that pig would have tased any person who didn't comply. That it wouldn't have mattered what color their skin was. Put a 1 in the chat if that pig would have tased any person who didn't comply to his authority. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that to be true. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it was just racist. I want to know how many people think it was just racist. Put a 2 in the chat. If you think it was just because you're not listening to the pig, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've been threatened to be shot with a taser by the cops. 1 for me. 1. Here's my 1. Okay. How many people have been told, you know, I can arrest you for that? All of us. It doesn't matter what color your skin is anymore. Granted, they target black folks. Don't think they don't. Trust me, man. I got a good friend in Nevada, and he's got a nice car. And we'll go to the gym, and then when we leave the gym, he'll go, hey, Chille, do you want to jump in with me? And we'll run over to the restaurant. And I go, no, bro. And he goes, it's because I'm black. Yeah, because you're black. That's exactly the reason why. I don't want to ride with you because they'll pull me over because you're black. They won't pull me over. And if they do, yay! But for me, I look forward to it because it's content and I get to destroy another pig. But don't get me wrong. There's definitely a racist element to policing. I'm just saying, go to my website, deletelaws.com. As a matter of fact, go to my website and get my trifold. It's $9 for the digital one, $30 for the indestructible one. I got to make up $400 I spent today. So go buy one of my trifolds if you can. I appreciate that. Keep it in your car at all times. The laws that you're going to read on that, a lot of them were crafted for black folks. I'm just keeping it real. I just don't want us to get lost in the minutia of everything's racist. The laws created were racist in origins, and the way they're applied has some racism to it. But the truth is we're all being subjugated to these disgusting jackboot thug pigs.
Police on Long Island have been sued over racism in past decades and have hired more officers of color, vowed change, fairness, and transparency.
Oh my God. Did you hear what she just said? Listen to this. Listen to this. Just listen to what she said right here. Just real quick.
Island have been sued over racism in past decades and have hired more officers of color, vowed.
I hate to tell you this. I hate to stop this so many times. But honey, it don't matter what color that pig is. He's blue all over. You pull back his sleeve, it's blue. Dude, we've hired more cops of color. I wish I had my black friend here right now. I got a black friend here in town that I visit with every day. If I could sit him down here next to me, you know, he would tell you that black cops are the worst to black people. If I could sit down with one of my best friends, Octavio, and he sat down here, he's Mexican, he'll sit here and tell you that Mexican cops are the worst to Mexicans. And he's from Mexico. My black friend will tell you that black cops are the worst to black people. What are you talking about? They've hired more black cops. They've hired more black cops so that you can have tyrannical black cops or tyrannical white cops. Or you just saw the Asian guy who murdered George Floyd. Should we hire more Asians? You think more Asians will mean that they murder us less? You've created, the United States government, in the name of racism, has created a completely tyrannical system that is based on giving all of our rights to the government. Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. You give a pig power, he's going to abuse you.
Of change, fairness, and transparency. On Long Island, Jennifer McLogan, CBS 2 News.
And police transported Merritt to the hospital by ambulance. He spent the night handcuffed in a jail cell. The following day, disorderly conduct and governmental obstruction charges were added to jaywalking.
So this is the other.
On the ground.
This is the other thing that really pisses me off. The idea that you could put someone in the dungeon and then leave them handcuffed in a jail cell all night long. And they do it specifically to torture and punish us. To torture and punish us. That's why they do it. That's why they do it. It's just unbelievable to me that we allow this to go on in our country. And it just absolutely infuriates me. It just infuriates me. And then, so someone's talking about how long, Patricia's saying you should have 2 years to file against them. So if you want to file a federal civil rights lawsuit Every state in America has different rules of when you can file your federal civil rights lawsuit. So if you were violated by the police in Alaska, they're going to have a different statute of limitations than if you were violated by the police in Oregon. And Oregon may have a different statute than Washington, and Washington may be different than Florida. And Florida, the statute of limitations for if you can file your federal civil rights lawsuit this year, next year, or the year after, it may have even a different statute of limitations. So no matter what state you're in, you need to check the statute of limitations to see when you can file that federal civil rights lawsuit. So I was assaulted in Ohio. My case was recently dismissed in Massachusetts. So I'm going to file a motion to reconsider. And if they drop the case, I'll refile the case entirely. I have to know the statute of limitations as when that case runs out of time. You see? So you have to know some details here, or you're going to hose yourself. You're going to put yourself in a really bad position. So, all right, cool. How many? We still got 400, 500 people here. Cool. All right. So listen, everybody, welcome to Delete Laws. Thank you so much for coming here. Hit the like button. How many been here from the beginning? You've been here from the beginning? Hit the like button. If you would, reach down, hit the thumbs up button. It's right down there. Just hit the thumbs up button and then type in the comment section OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Ohio. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. So I saw this earlier, and this is a security guard. Oh, do you guys see the civil rights lawyer earlier? Now, we can't watch this whole thing. I'm kind of tempted. Do I get into this or not? I don't know. We can get into it because the first 5 minutes is really riveting. The first 5 minutes is really good of this.
Paul, as you can see.
So we'll watch the first 5 minutes of this civil rights lawyer channel. I'm a big fan of this channel. This guy's he went to law school. He's a smart guy. He's fighting for people's rights. Seems to be a good dude. You know, I don't know him, but I like what he's doing. So there's a cop in Minnesota. Her name's Whaley, W-E-Y Wayburn, or anyway, we're going to say her name in 1 second. But you know what she did is she just made up a story about some Somalian women that they were human trafficking. And guess what happened? Their whole lives were ruined. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what happened to these people. Their lives were turned upside down, and everything that they had been working on was turned upside down. She indicted 30 people, and the whole time she was absolutely lying about it. Absolutely lying about it. So I'm going to start from the very beginning of this because I already watched this.
This is a story of a crooked cop who framed an innocent person, and then she sat in jail wrongfully for 2 years. I mean, is that a fair characterization?
A St. Paul police officer named Heather Waker began in 2008 a sex trafficking investigation that essentially she just made up. The Department of Justice has a conviction rate over 99%. And in this case, ultimately 33 people were charged with federal crimes, and not a single one of them was convicted or took a plea deal. And so this was just a spectacular failure for the federal government via its use of this cross-deputized St. Paul officer named Heather Waker, who framed a bunch of people, my client included.
I was put in jail for 17 months because an officer lied about me.
And has thus far completely gotten away scot-free with it. Right now, she's still a sergeant in the St. Paul Police Department. She's still employed, making six figures. In fact, she was recently sued again in her capacity as a St. Paul cop.
I'm a coach. I originally became a police officer to try and stop domestic violence and try to make a difference.
Just so you know, she's a total piece of shit. We're only going to watch 4 minutes of this because you're going to get the whole story in 4 minutes. This woman is a devil.
Some of the victims' lives. Being a mom myself and having several kids, you
got to watch that. Maybe that little head shake she does. I don't know how you spot a psycho, but this chick is a psycho.
To look at things in kind of a different perspective, and we bring a caring, nurturing flavor to a scene. I think you should come to St. Paul Police Department and work with all the great officers here.
What are you talking about? The entire term of defund came from Minneapolis because the city council can't get the pigs under control.
We're all supportive of each other, and we treat each other like family.
Okay, so let me just dispel something real quick. all cops are afraid of other cops. They all hate each other. They all tell on each other. They're all looking to slight each other. They all get each other suspended. Cops hate each other. The only business that I've ever worked in that I can compare it to is the car business. I've never signed up to be a pig, so I wouldn't know exactly. I just know what ex-cops have told me. But the same thing in the auto business. When you're a car salesman or a general manager or a sales manager or a finance manager in the car business, everybody hates each other. Everybody hates each other. They're always looking to undercut the other guy to get their deal, to take their money, or to get on a deal where we're splitting the car. So I'm getting half the commission, you're getting half the commission. That's how it works. And in policing, all the cops hate each other. They're all afraid of each other. They're all afraid because they don't know if that cop over there is a piece of shit who's on the take, or if it's a tomboy, or if it's a goody shoes. You know, he's Mr. Clean cop over there. So when they are dealing with each other, they don't know if that person is some deep cover or if they're a good person, if they're a criminal. So there's this constant miscommunication between cops. They literally hate each other. If you don't believe me, ask an ex-cop. Have him tell you the stories.
Welcome back to the Civil Rights Lawyer channel. This is the most insane case that you have never heard about. That was St. Paul, Minnesota police officer Heather Waker. The U.S. 8th Circuit Court of Appeals held that this police officer had likely fabricated a non-existent child sex trafficking ring and apparently falsified testimony in court and to a grand jury. This led to the false arrest of 30 Somali refugees, some of whom spent years in federal prison, including the Institute for Justice's client here, Hamdi Mohammed. This is absolutely insane. And there's been no accountability. There have been no successful lawsuits against her. And she's still working there in St. Paul. As you can see, those promotional clips from their YouTube channel were filmed after a federal court had found that she is a liar.
Waker, W-E-Y-K-E-R, Waker. If you live in Minneapolis, the last name is W-E-Y-K-E-R.
But it's not over yet. There's still a pending lawsuit against this corrupt police officer. I have Patrick Giacomo, an attorney with the Institute for Justice, who has returned to the channel to discuss this case, to discuss the crazy facts, and to discuss why this case is so important for government accountability and for our constitutional rights, and to tell you how you can help, because your help is needed. Well, your money is needed, and you also need to help us and help the IJ get this story out there. Take a look.
A St. Paul police officer named Heather Waker began in 2008 a sex trafficking investigation that essentially she just made up. And over the course of several years, eventually was able to indict about 30 people, almost all of them Somali refugees, in this big scheme that she claimed had to do with human trafficking. Although 30 people were indicted by federal prosecutors in Tennessee, interestingly, not federal prosecutors in Minnesota who refused to take the case. The few that actually made it to trial were eventually acquitted by the 6th Circuit. And in something I've never seen before, we got a 6th Circuit opinion affirming the acquittals that basically said, we've done a painstaking review of the case and the case history, and we found instances of this officer, Heather Waker, lying repeatedly. And we have come to the conclusion that what we're about to describe in our opinion here is a likely fictitious story of sex trafficking. That all fell apart completely. In 2011, Hamdi and 2 of her friends ended up being attacked by a fourth girl named Muna Abdul Qadir. And unbeknownst to Hamdi and her friends, Muna was one of the secret witnesses that Heather Waker had been using to fabricate this crime ring that she would later be prosecuting. When Muna attacked the girls with a knife, they called 911, and Muna took off and hid in a neighbor's apartment, and she called Heather Waker. Now, Heather was concerned because Muna was a key witness for her. And so to protect Muna and make sure she didn't get arrested, what Heather Waker did was call up the on-scene officers via their car computers, because she's, again, a St. Paul cop. These are Minneapolis cops, and so she understands the local practices.
This is crazy.
They get a notice saying to call Officer Heather Waker out of St. Paul immediately, which they do. And when they call her, she feeds them a line of lies about how what actually happened here was that Hamdi and her friends were seeking to intimidate a federal witness. And so the police on the scene should arrest them instead of arresting Muna Abdul Qadir. And that's exactly what does happen. The three girls were arrested for witness tampering under Minnesota law. Then the next day, Officer Waker swears out an affidavit in support of federal charges and has all three of these girls charged with witness tampering under federal law, charges that carried the potential of life in prison. Hamdi and one of her other friends spent about 2 years in federal prison waiting for trial. Ultimately, the charges against Hamdi were dropped, but her friends Habo and Ifra were both tried and both acquitted in the federal system. And so just to zoom out on the likelihood of all of this kind of just being chance and not Heather Waker's malfeasance putting almost 33 people in prison, the Department of Justice has a conviction rate over 99%. And in this case, ultimately 33 people were charged with federal crimes, and not a single one of them was convicted or took a plea deal. And so this was just a spectacular failure for the federal government via its use of this cross-deputized St. Paul officer named Heather Waker, who framed a bunch of people, my client included, and has thus far completely gotten away scot-free with it. Right now, she's still a sergeant in the St. Paul Police Department. She's still employed, making six figures. In fact, she was recently sued again in her capacity as a St. Paul cop for tricking her way into a man's apartment without a warrant to search it. And in that case, the federal court granted summary judgment against her. The trick in this case, and all of these cases that came after Heather Waker was found out, is that what they have done is the sort of two-step immunity shuffle where they've said, first, give me qualified immunity. The courts have routinely tossed that out. In fact, the way the Eighth Circuit put it when it rejected her claim in the case of Hamdi and her friends was any reasonable officer would know that lying to have another officer arrest an innocent person to protect a sham investigation is unlawful. So that kind of gives you a flavor for the sort of contempt that the courts have had for Heather Waker's behavior. But to get out of any accountability, what she's done instead is say, I was cross-deputized as a U.S. Marshal, and so you can only sue me as a federal officer. And as a federal officer, there's no Bivens left because my case isn't exactly like Webster Bivens' case, and therefore I can't be sued at all. And so far, she's won on these theories. Hamdi's case is the last case standing. And
there's a very famous case called Bivens versus 6 unnamed federal agents. If you're unfamiliar with the case, it's the way we can sue federal officers. And so when Wayburn or what's her name, whatever, when she invoked Bivens, she said, my case is exactly like Bivens, so you can't come after me. I just wanted to get that little caveat in there so you knew what, when he said Bivens is a case law standard. It's a landmark Supreme Court case that makes it so that we can sue federal agents.
The issue that we're now advancing is even if she was acting in some federal capacity as a cross-deputized officer, she was also acting under color of state law and can be subject to liability under Section 1983 because, of course, she is and was a St. Paul police officer. And a variety of other facts support the fact that when she did what she did here against Hamdi and her friends, she was acting at least in this simultaneously as a state officer and a federal officer. And the added wrinkle here is in Hamdi's friend Ifra's case, this 1983 issue has already been decided by the Eighth Circuit, and they concluded based on the facts in Ifra's complaint that Officer Waker was acting exclusively under color of federal law. So when this case came back down after the Supreme Court declined to grant review on the issue of Bivens in Hamdi's case, we kind of thought, we'll be stuck with the same facts that Ifra's case had. But as it turned out, we found some rather crucial documents pertaining to several task forces that are relevant to Heather Waker's behavior. The first of which is a task force called the Gerald D. Vick Task Force, which we found out since then and have sought to amend our complaint to put this before the court, is a St. Paul-led task force. Explicitly in the documents, it says this is a St. Paul-led task force with the purpose of stopping human trafficking in Minnesota. And Heather Waker's entire investigation, the one that she was trying to cover up for when she had Hamdi and her friends arrested, was a St. Paul investigation undertaken through this VIC task force, and through which Heather Waker had always been supported in some capacity by federal officers, proving that the federal component of what happened here didn't somehow take this out of the space of Section 1983, but instead just showed that the federal officers were cooperating to support Heather Waker's investigation. And the other two documents, which we found, are documents from other task forces, because something I should also point out, there's been no discovery in this case, or to my knowledge, any of the other cases against Heather Waker, because the government has been so successful in having them dismissed so quickly.
Did you hear that?
Found other
Did you hear that? The government's so successful at having cases dismissed.
Memoranda of understanding for task forces between the St. Paul Police Department and the FBI. So that's Heather Waker's employer on the one hand and the sponsor for her federal marshalship on the other. And those documents specifically say if officers are sued for constitutional violations, federal officers are sued under Bivens, and state and cross-deputized officers are to be sued under Section 1983.
So, like I said earlier, you know, the way you can sue federal officers, the way it's so ridiculous. But Bivens versus 6 unnamed federal agents is the way that we are allowed to sue federal cops. And look, you know, I'm autodidactic. Everything I've learned on my own. So there's some things I don't know because I'm not classically educated. But from what I understand, so I could misspeak here. From what I understand, it has something to do with you can't sue a federal agent. I'm not going to even talk on it, but I think it has to do with qualified immunity, but I'm not quite sure. So I don't want to talk out my rear end. But the only way you can sue a federal agent is through Bivens versus 6 unnamed federal agents. That's how you can sue.
And so now we have this whole new nucleus of facts that prove that Heather Waker was acting under color of state law. And the government is fighting like hell to prevent us from amending the complaint and simultaneously asking the district court to dismiss the case without really even digging into it any further. I think there have been more than 20 lawsuits against Heather Waker, a bunch of them from some of the 30 people who she charged in the sex trafficking case. And then Hamdi and both of her friends filed separate civil rights lawsuits alleging Bivens and Section 1983 claims against Officer Waker. And just by weird happenstance, I mean, this is all in front of the same district court and of course, the same circuit court. Just by happenstance, Hamdi's case was consolidated with her friend Hawa's. And the issue there was the Bivens issue, whether this officer could be sued under Bivens. And the Eighth Circuit said, you can't sue her under Bivens, but explicitly they said, but that doesn't mean the case is over. If you can prove she was acting under color of state law, you may be able to proceed under Section 1983.
In regards to your client, Hamdi Mohammed, this is a story of a crooked cop who framed an innocent person, and then she sat in jail wrongfully for 2 years. I mean, is that a fair characterization?
Absolutely. So this is a crooked cop who framed 3 innocent girls who were teenagers at the time, and Hamdi was actually a minor. And these are people who are already coming from a difficult background. They're all 3 Somali refugees who came to this country under refugee status. So they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of connections. And doing this to them completely derailed all of their lives. And so ever since then, despite being let out of prison, they've gotten no remedy for the violation of their rights to be able to get their lives back on the right track. Meanwhile, this crooked cop is still out there violating people's rights and being paid by the taxpayers of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah, my first question, after I read the second amended complaint and I read some of the other documents that you guys had posted on the website, my first question to you was going to be, what happened to this Heather Waker? What happened to this crooked cop? And it sounds like nothing.
Yeah, so what happened was nothing criminally. All of the civil rights lawsuits, like I said, so far have stalled out on some form of immunity or another. And the police department opened an internal investigation against her, which they just kept open for years and years and years and used as a way to stonewall providing information. And then fairly recently just closed that investigation without any sort of finding of of wrongdoing against Heather Waker. And so, like I said, she's still employed by the St. Paul Police Department. She's now a sergeant. She makes 6 figures. And even still, she is behaving like she's above the law. An interesting thing about Officer Waker is, if you type her name into Westlaw, there are a number of cases outside of this case, like I mentioned, where courts have called into question the truthfulness of things she said. In fact, there was a state case where I think the Minnesota Court of Appeals had a dissent where the judge described Heather Waker's telling of what happened in the back of a squad car with a very sarcastic tone in his disbelief of what she said happened, where this guy had his hands handcuffed and somehow was able to get his keys out of his pocket and provide them, and along with them consent to search something.
Yeah, I just Googled her name, Officer Weicker, Minnesota, and the first thing that came up is a New York Times article. If the police lie, should they be held liable? But isn't that crazy? I mean, all right, Minnesota, contrast the George Floyd case with this case.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to drop the link for the civil rights attorney, his video down in the chat. And what I'm going to do is, I think I just put that in the chat right there, Weyker, Minnesota cop. So you guys can see what I can see, right? I just pulled this up, and I'm just pulling up exactly what the civil rights attorney just pulled up. So I just put her name in there, Heather Weyker, Minnesota cop. Police empowered to lie about investigations. So the whole idea, if you guys are unfamiliar, there is a German philosopher by the name of Kant, K-A-N-T. And for me, when I was growing up, I read about anybody who wrote the social contract. And what I mean when I say the social contract is wrote about the rule of law. And there's a German philosopher, and I think he's 19th century, and he writes about what's called categorical imperativeness. And what he writes in categorical imperativeness, so categorical imperativeness is where if you believe that whatever you do, whatever your will be done throughout the universe. So in other words, if I decide that I'm going to prank call Rights On right now and call them up and be like, hey, is your refrigerator running? You better run out there and get it then. Ha, ha, ha. And I hang up. So the categorical imperative of that would be that my will is done throughout the universe. And so what Kant writes about is he says, whatever you do, multiply times 7 billion people. And if it's okay that you do it and 7 billion other people do it, then your will be done. And that's the way it is. That's the most important thing. So that's what Kant wrote about. You can read about Kant. You can just put Kant, philosopher, social contract, and you'll get all of his teachings. So now when you talk about giving police the right to lie, police empowered to lie about investigations, when you allow cops to lie to us and say, okay, now take Kant's categorical imperative and put it into effect. If all cops lie to us, what happens? It creates an absolute mess, a soup, injustice soup. And so now you have this cop, Heather Weyker, along with every other pig lying to us, and it's created absolute chaos. If the cops can lie to us and we have to tell the truth, then you've created a tilted scale. If I can lie to y'all, hey, Floyd's bail was really $600 and not $400, then if everybody does that, then everybody's ripping people off. And that's a bad thing. That makes a bad society. That makes a bad earth. You do good because good spreads. You do bad and bad spreads. When we allow pigs to lie to us, it ruins the fabric of a culture that's based on being upfront and honest and trustworthy. When the government says to the cops, go ahead and lie, we're going to encourage you to lie to try to get convictions against people, you're ruining the categorical imperatives of what is supposed to happen. There is a categorical imperative that must be met. And as long as we continue to allow our government to lie to us, deceive us, to steal from us, to overtax us, we're going to have an absolute horrible country. And that's where we are right now. That's where we are. we have created rules for cops that are not the same rules for us. They can lie, cheat, and steal, and we have to follow all the rules. They don't get arrested. They don't get in trouble for anything, and we get in trouble for anything. If you interact with a cop and you don't do what they say, you're charged with assault, even though it's a lie. How many times are we seeing it? We're seeing it lie after lie after lie after lie. It just never stops. And it's because we're breaking categorical imperativeness. We're breaking Kant's basic philosophy. If you can do it, then just imagine everybody can do it. So if you walk up and you sucker punch someone, just imagine 8 billion people, 7 billion people sucker punching someone. If I walk out the door right now and I take my neighbor's property, now just your will be done throughout the universe. Now imagine everybody walking out the door and taking their neighbor's property. If I lie, cheat, or steal, then just imagine everybody else lying and cheating and stealing, and that's okay. And that's what we've created. And you wonder why Heather Weicker is such a piece of shit. She's been taught to be a piece of shit. She's been taught to be a tyrant thug pig. She's been taught. She's been educated. All right. All righty then. Okay. Last thing. I'm going to show you the conversation that I just had with Jason Dollarhide. And then remember, I'm trying to do a fundraiser, so I will put in here, I will put my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. I'm trying to recover $400 that I just put out for Floyd Wallace to get him out of jail. So I'll put my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal in the chat below, and then at ChilleDeCastro is PayPal. There it is right there. Those are my pay apps right there. I'm trying to raise those funds back. Hopefully I can get it back, but if I can't, I took that chance and I wasn't going to leave Floyd in jail. No how, no way, no how, no way. So there's my Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. If you guys are so inclined, I'm trying to raise like 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks from each person to get to that $400 mark. If we go over that, I'll put it in a kitty and we'll use it for the next person we got to bail out, because I don't want to make a dime. I just want to try to keep my nose above water as we move along through the water here. So now let me share with you guys the phone call that I just had with Jason Dollarhide, and that would have been this morning, I believe. I pulled like a 38-hour day, and so my days and nights are all kind of messed up right now. So sorry, I stayed awake for too long. And so then when he called me, when Floyd Wallace called me, he told me about what was going on, and I was kind of like out of it. You guys heard the phone call. But this is from Jason.
All phone calls are subject to monitoring and recording. You have 15 minutes available for this call.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
Man, it's Friday night, 3 weeks after being here.
So let me just start this again for Colin, who clips all the videos. Everybody, welcome to deletelaws.com. Thank you for coming to my channel. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button right down there, hit the like button, and then type down in the comment section, OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. As you know, we've helped Jason Dollarhide. We've raised several $1,000s for this family this past month. And now I had a recent phone call with him. I want you guys to hear the recent phone call and listen to what's going on with him in the dungeon.
All phone calls are subject to monitoring and recording. You have 15 minutes available for this call.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
Man, it's Friday night, 3 weeks after being here. I finally got a blanket, finally. So that was, helpful to get warm. Last night, I was threatened by a bunch of cops that I must stop making YouTube videos, and I told them, yeah, right. And they're so intrigued, trying to figure out how, what, where, when, and why. And I told them, you're the police, figure that shit out. But I mean, and then another guard came in and was like, he's like, how are you doing it? Like, you're the police, figure it out. I mean, it's sad, dude. But there's another thing going on here, man. There's a guy here with they pulled the tooth, and now it's like sealed over his jaw, and they're refusing to treat this man, Chille. Like he's not assigned. He's on a pending case. Man, and then they're giving him ibuprofen, an ice pack, and a heat pack now. For over 10 days, this man is not even eating. We tried giving him applesauce. I mean, it's so sad.
What's his name?
We're waiting on him to get up. Like right now, he's still asleep. But I told my wife and his cellmate, like, they asked me to see if we could run this on YouTube. And I said, dude, I'll talk to him, but yes, I'm sure.
What's his name?
More than his name is Chuck.
What's his last name?
Charles Smith is his name. Charles.
He's got an abscessed tooth in his head, huh? That can kill you.
Bro, I'm telling you, they pulled the tooth here. How long ago? A month ago, he got the tooth taken here, okay? And then he's been put in medical slip after medical slip after medical slip. And then it's so infected. Now he's got lockjaw, bro. This dude 2 weeks ago was out here running around with us, playing cards. He had 8 and 10 days, maybe 2 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, it's terrible, bro.
It sounds like it.
I mean, he stayed in his bed. I mean, he's not like that, man. Like I said, it's just been slowly, and now it's getting worse.
Sorry to hear it. I'll put it out there. See if we can help him.
They're bringing him like the not right, correct medicine. I mean, they're bringing him shit like STDs, and then they told him that no, we don't take you to the hospital from here. Well, what if you have a heart attack? Yeah, you're going to take me to the hospital. So I was like, they asked me this morning. I was like, dude, I saw your sign on your door, bro. I was going to ask if you wanted me to run this because we'll do it. I know these people will run it on YouTube, man, because this jail is it's beyond. And then another guy walks out this morning, and you got to see his face.
So I got this text from Heather, Jason's wife, tonight when we were texting, and she's at 6 p.m. She said, Jason, Ted, to let you know, they finally took Chuck, the man that needed medical assistance, to the hospital today. So the guy who had the abscessed tooth where his whole jaw had swollen up and he stopped eating, apparently the jailers finally took him to the hospital today. I don't know why you would tell people that we don't take people to the hospital if that's what they need.
He's got an abscessed tooth on the upper side of his jaw, but he just got here. And how long you been here, brother? Aaron? How long you been here? He's been here 3 weeks. He's been to medical several times. And dude, it's unreal, man. They're just don't give a man. We finally got changed out after 3 weeks, man. We finally got our clothes changed.
Mm-hmm.
This morning we finally got razors after 3 weeks. So I mean, dude, this place it's unreal how. And you got to hear the bullshit excuses from these COs. We're short-handed. We're this and that. But when they pull up, they got 3 guards on a food tray, but they're short-handed. Why do they need 3 guys on 1 food tray? I mean, it's I don't know, man. There's so many policies that they're breaking in this inmate handbook that's right here available to read through. It's so sad, man. I mean, they're treating us like dogs, dude.
It's every jail in America.
What?
It's every single jail in America, Jason, not just that one.
Right. Oh, I agree.
The dungeon. That's why I call it the dungeon. No matter where you go, it's a dungeon.
Right. I was talking. You need to ask Heather. Me and her on the phone the other night. Dude, I had to call her back. I bet you 40 times in not even an hour because they keep butting in and cutting our phone call off. And it's costing money every time they do that.
Yep.
And I was getting so frustrated, dude. I finally told her, I was like, baby, I am sick of them hanging up on us. Like, this is so stupid. Because then the more times you enter the number, you're wasting more battery on the tablet, if I'm laying up in my house. So the tablet goes dead quicker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, man? It's just, it's not right, man.
What's the latest on your daughter? What's the latest on the lawyer or the bond? What have we decided to do? I know that she was trying to find someone to get custody for Avery.
The bond is August 9th, as far as I know. Heather told me a while ago that I got approved for court-appointed counsel on the new charges.
Mm-hmm.
And the bond that they withdrew on from 19 and 21, I guess, they're just telling me I have to recommit because of it's been so long. It's the only thing they said. So the state has been dragging their feet now on several of these cases. For one of them on 4 years, some of them on 2 years, another one on 2 years from the late thing, and So the state's been dragging their feet so long. The bondsman finally withdrew when I got the new charges, that are absolutely ridiculous. So.
Right, but so what about Avery? What's
In the event a third-party call is detected, your call will be terminated without warning.
I'm holding off on that, man. That's I guess I don't have a lawyer on that or something. Supposedly I thought I did, and I don't. So I'm just gonna hold off on that story, man.
Well, it's not a story. It's like, did she find her mom or her sister to someone who could go in and say that they would take custody?
Yes, she is very, very much safe. She's with amazing friends of ours. So.
Oh, so you got her out of the CPS custody?
The same day that tragedy happened, from 11 o'clock that morning, by 9 o'clock that night, she was with. She never was in the hands of these evil people for more than 6-7 hours, man.
Okay, good.
So
yeah, that's
so glad. Trust me, I'm when I read that message that morning of what happened, bro, I assure you, this place about to get flipped the fuck over. And
you got to keep your cool in there. I'm trying to tell you that.
Man, I know that's what they're trying to do to me, man.
You got to keep your cool at all times, Jason.
They're not going to break me on this, man. Like I told Heather, I told her she had the money out there. I told her I don't give a shit if my bond goes to $1 million. Worry about getting our daughter safe, and she did.
Yeah.
So
that's what
that
matters.
Trust me, that was the biggest kick in the teeth.
Oh, I know, dude. I know.
I'm lost on that, man.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, for something that was never even investigated, and they come and take her like that, I'm lost. They can see our home that she is very well taken care of. So
It's got nothing to do with it. They're doing it to hurt you, and we already know that.
Huh?
They're doing that to hurt you, and we already know it.
I know.
They're messing up her life just to hurt you.
Yeah, I used to see the way in court. This judge, I'm sitting there in orange, shackled. Anytime I said something, she was like, "You're excused." Yeah, I know I am, because this is bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and listen to these lies.
You got to be calm in court.
I know, but man, if you heard what I heard,
I know
they
it.
wouldn't even let me bring my own paperwork that I had for defense of myself. They wouldn't even let me bring it. And I'm pretty sure that's civil rights violations. The cops in there, they had 6 bailiffs before our little court thing was over. There was only 5 people in that courtroom. There was more cops than people. These Cleveland County sheriffs, they're in there being a bunch of nosy, gossiping gals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they want to get you. They don't like that you put your finger in their eye, and they're mad at you.
And then when they took us out of court, and as soon as I stepped outside, they were like threatening me and this and that. I told them, dude, I'll put your name at the top of the next federal lawsuit. And they're like, get in line. I'm like, shit, I'm already in line, buddy. You already know it. So that's just, and they're like, well, you're going back to the freezer storage. And when we got out the last gate, my ride was sitting there. He's like, get in on that side. I was like, I ain't getting in no freezer. That's what they call outside the courthouse, I guess they call it the freezer. Like, it's a stupid little, like, storage building with, like, a white wire cage inside of it, like you're a big dog pen, dude.
Right.
They threw us in there, locked.
In the event a third-party call is detected, your call will be terminated without warning.
Padlock through the little slide lock, dude. I mean, I've never been through that, so, but And then these cops sitting in there just, dude, they're disgusting. It's crap that they sit there with that badge and the shit they talk about. It's absolutely gross, dude.
I mean,
It's
but
bad.
Jason, you know, I hope you hear what I'm saying to you. You have to change your persona a little bit when you're in the dungeon. You can't, or you're gonna have. They can kill you, dude. You gotta.
I believe it.
Well, you it seems like you're being combative, so I can only tell you what I know. But you're in there.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, when they're threatening me as soon as we get out of the courthouse, that's
You have to. Now's not the
shackled.
now's not the time to have the back and forth. Now's the time
Right.
to just let them feel like they got you beat, and you get through it, because everything happening to you is because of, you know, inside that dungeon they have total control. And if you are a scrappy little bastard right now, I mean, it just sounds like you're not really hearing what I'm telling you. But that's all right. You know, do whatever you're gonna do.
Well, I mean, I'm saying I'm trying to, stay to my thing, but I just see so many things going on. It's
I know you do it.
like this guy. Yeah.
He can't stop being a good guy long enough to worry about his own skin.
Yeah.
I'm sure, Jason. I'm sure, dude. I know. But you got to get out of there. You got a family. You got to get out of there for your family. So
August 9th, man, that's my next court date. And I've put in for a bond reduction. We filed everything imaginable. I'm shooting for the stars, man.
I really hope you get
August
out.
9th at 2 o'clock. That's my next
So August 9th at 2 o'clock, that means his next hearing is on Wednesday at 2 o'clock for a bond reduction. His current bond is $240,000. We don't have enough money to get him out right now. So everybody hit your knees, throw up some prayers and some good thoughts for Jason Dollarhide that his bond gets reduced. I'm going to drop the link for this video down in the chat right here if you guys are so inclined and you want to watch it. I see number 7. Put a 7 in the chat if you're praying for Chille and the movement. Thank you. I'll put a 7 in the chat with you. There you go. I put a 7 in the chat. There's the link for the video right there if you guys want to watch this entire video. There's only a couple minutes of it left. But to be honest with you, I had this tooth pulled right here. I don't want to gross you guys out, but there's a hole in my tooth right there. I had that tooth pulled 3-4 days ago now. My mouth is just killing me right now. Thank you for the prayers. I mean, so nice of you guys. Thank you so much. I just mentioned put a 7 for prayers, and the chat filled up with 7s. So thank you. Quiet and humble. You know, I just want to take a second real quick and say thank you to all of y'all who come here and support what I'm doing, because it's not me, it's us, 100%. You know, all the fundraisers that we've done for all these people, each and every one of you are a part of it. We've crowdfunded thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, thousands. We've crowdfunded so much money for so many people and help. You guys have crowdfunded me several times when I just bailed people out and I just did it without the money. We helped the one homeless guy and I just bailed him out. And then I came to you guys and you guys refilled my coffers. So this is just a great big thank you to all of you on Team DLZ. I wouldn't be able to do anything without your power. And when they locked me up in Ironton and when they locked me up in Las Vegas, it was you who called the jail. And all of your phone calls, when I would hear the phone ringing off the hook, I would realize that I'm not alone. And so over this week, as both Floyd Wallace and Jason Dollarhide were in jail, my sleep is all messed up. I'm trying to sleep, but I can't. So I did a 2 days in a row, and then I slept for 6, and then woke up for 10 hours, slept for 3 more hours. So I'm going to try to get some sleep, but I got to get Jason out of the dungeon. We got Floyd Wallace out of the dungeon. He's out. So there's goal number 1. Goal number 2, we got to get Jason out of the dungeon. We have to get him out of the dungeon. And then if anybody has a connection for Institute for Justice, Jason Dollarhide's story is a perfect one for theirs. But we first have to get him out of the dungeon. And just so you guys know, let me show you this, and this will be the last thing that I share with you guys. This will be Dan Hanlon. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wow. You know what? I got some from Alex. Thank you. Thank you, Alec. I appreciate it. Sebastian, thank you. I'm just reading off some of these donations. Chevy, thanks Chevy for your donation. Dan Hanlon, dude, Dan Hanlon, bro. Not a rich dude, and he's just been. Gil, thank you, Gil, for your donation. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much. I thank you so much, Benito. Benito, thank you so much, dude. Thank you guys so much for donating to me. I'm so grateful. Like, I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm not gonna stop. And so that automatically for me transitioned a year and a half ago to we don't stop, because there's so many of us who all feel the same way. We're Gen Xers and boomers and some of the older millennials who are sick and tired of this police state, prison state, death state. I appreciate you guys so much. And I just want to take the last few minutes of this live stream and just say to Kinetic Customs and to William and to Blue and to James King, thank you for the 7, James. I appreciate it. To Katie, to Patrice, to Deanna, thank you. Groundhog, I haven't seen you. V. Boyer, always good to see. Avery, nice to see you. Scottish, thank you. Darth, thank you. I appreciate it. Darkish. Joe, thank you. Thank you guys all for being my friend. DLZ Clips had one hell of a day today. He couldn't be with us today. He told me to tell everybody hello. Make sure you subscribe to our backup channel called DLZ Clips Reloaded. And Colin is over there running that channel, so he's doing the best he can. But just from the bottom of my heart, I put out that $400 today, and I told Floyd on the phone, because Floyd's like, I'll pay you back. Just get me out of the dungeon. I said, I'll do it, Floyd. And I said, I'm only putting in a little bit because people will help me bail you out of jail, people who don't even know you. And it was really a surreal moment on the phone with him today when I told him, I'm going to give you the money for your bail and I'm going to raise it afterwards, because he called me yesterday and was like, hey, do a fundraiser because tomorrow I got to get out of jail. And I said, well, how much is it? And he said, it's going to be $400. And I said, well, if it's just $400, I'll just cover it. So, but that's my confidence is because of you. Because of you, I have this confidence. Now, I have my own confidence based on knowing constitutional law and my status as a man, but I can't do any of these things. See, like, that's what I'm talking about. There it is. There it is. God bless you, Isabel. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. $2 or $3, just crowdfund. And if I can do this successfully through the rest of my career, I will win the governorship. And I give you my word. As leader of the peons, I will change it for the peons. I am a peon. I was not raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. I just was not. So I will do everything I can to change the system. And I guarantee you one thing, we don't stop. Under any circumstances, under any conditions, we do not stop. Ever. All right, I will get the flock out of here. Bronco Nation, Butch the Original, Ansel, good to see you. Kinetic Costumes, I love Yahweh. God bless you all. Thank you guys so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'll see you guys on the next one. Mikey, later, Gators.